Yes. All right, guys. We are starting episode 6. Can you believe it? Anybody have any news to go over? Oh, Courtney, you have Instagram, Facebook information?
Yes, I do. So for all of you guys that do follow the show, we do also have a Instagram. It's the_story thus far. So if you guys want to follow us on Instagram, please do. We also want to give a quick shout out to Jennifer with Moonlight Wares. She makes a lot of custom D&D stuff, going anywhere between bags for dice, and also she does just amazing dice trays and woodwork. It's pretty amazing. We met her actually at Long Beach Comic Con on Saturday, actually yesterday.
Yeah. I saw they have these amazing leather masks as well.
Yes.
They've got like all kinds of, if you do a lot of cosplay and stuff, they've got all kinds of really cool, amazing stuff. So we'll drop a link to her Etsy shop in the description of the show later on. But yeah, it would be www.etsy.com/shop/moonlightwares. So quick shout out to her. And what else do you have?
If anybody also is kind of a little behind on any episodes, we do have the links on our Instagram page. Like I said, it's basically under each picture there will be links to all the episodes. So if you guys want to follow us, want to catch up to see also what we're up to, and updates, definitely follow us on Instagram, and we will be updating you guys on potentially a Facebook page and potentially a Twitter page.
Cool. Yeah, so anybody else have anything? No?
I do not.
Okay. If nobody has anything else, we're going to get right into it. So the story thus far, guys, you guys are in the desert. Tilmic Gavevi has fallen. A dear friend of you, Daedalus, Talvis, Barag, and Terra. She fell victim to Zayenda Zane and her growing military of fanatics. On the path to deliver Tilmic back to the Abrunova, you guys slaughtered a family of owlbears. But eventually, our four heroes, you guys ran into a patrol, and they were part of a network tasked with rescuing refugees. It's not the first time that you guys have run into this network. They were rescuing refugees fleeing from the grip of Zayenda Zane and her zealots. Zayenda Zane and her zealots. It's a cool band name.
Yeah.
As the patrol is heading to escort folk to the Ternsby village, and from there to the Ashburn moorings and beyond, they agreed to usher Tilmic home to her loved ones. And as Daedalus, Terra, Barag, and Talvis, you guys continued to proceed west to the Tapva deserts, otherwise known as the Sanguine Sands. However, before journeying west, Daedalus, during one of your meditations, you felt a darkness, and you also felt a warning, neither of which you were confident came from your patron. So as you guys continued west, the four of you crest a mountain range and discover an expedition that was being overrun by sand orcs. Quickly, you guys jumped into action and you fended off the marauding orcs and other invaders. The four of you managed to fight off the incursion, and you are soon met with the elvish leader of the research group, an excavation site. Her name was Ulud Ramir, and she informed you guys that an ancient temple of Talos had been uncovered, and it was possibly the very first temple. And it holds an ancient relic which Zayenda Zane seeks for herself to increase her already formidable divine powers. Meanwhile, Terra, you recognize a couple of halflings from your home, Fruven and Rai, from the Ternsby village. They informed you that the Ternsby village had been razed to the ground, So feeling the urgency of your situation, you decide you're all going to enter the temple and retrieve this relic before Zaindazane's forces can retrieve it for her. So yeah, you guys are in the Sanguine Sands. It is in the evening. What would you like to do?
We haven't gone into the temple.
No. And as a matter of fact, you guys are at the very first excavation site. You see pillars of red sandstone. You do see some carvings and some stone.
And they warned us kind of like not to go in there at night in particular.
Yeah, in the evening, the Sanguine Sands becomes rife with supernatural activity, even demonic activity. There's the main excavation site, but then there is actually a valley that leads to the temple. The valley itself looks like it was cut from an ancient river that had long been dried out within the desert. And they have torches kind of lit in the pathway of the valley, and that's kind of like where they keep their main base of operation, is just the main excavation site, and then going to the valley. That's kind of like where they have all of their equipment, their pack animals, things like that. But nobody, they've sent a few people into the temple. Nobody has returned from the temple, so they're kind of reluctant to go in. So they've been concentrating specifically on the main excavation site just outside the little valley that leads to the temple.
Okay. I say we take watch and rest before we go in, just because from the warnings that we've been getting about the night activity, the supernatural activity at night, I don't think it would be wise to
Sounds good to me.
There's about 10 other people at the excavation site, so it's not just the four of you.
Yeah.
There's a pretty large group, and they do have rudimentary defensive parameters set up. They're not soldiers. Most of them are farmers and civilians and refugees, escapees, scholars, teachers. But they can keep a watch throughout the evening, unless you guys would want to help them with that.
Is there a campfire?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
There's camps and there's tents, there's tables, there's cots.
I'm gonna walk up to the campfire and just lay out my blanket and lay down and kind of curl it half over me, like, good night.
God, Talvis, always sleeping on the job.
I said, oi, and I'm gonna go up to him and say, oi, I need to talk to you really quick before you take your nap.
I'm already taking my nap. Can it wait?
No, it cannot wait. This is important. It's a discussion for you. No other ears.
See, this is why I lay down without saying anything. I think it will help me avoid these things, but apparently that's not working anymore. So I'm just gonna get up on my backside and look up at her and say, well, what's this important subject?
Just follow me.
Want me to get up too? Oh, okay. And stand up and begin to follow her.
So I'm gonna go kind of not necessarily outside of the camp, but just on the edge of the camp, like so. Then
the perimeter's clearly lit. There's rows of torches and stuff. So yeah.
So I'm gonna, and they're not around. They're over in the camp, right? Okay. So I'm just gonna look at him, and I'm gonna go and just say, the Terrans be with me home. You met me pa, saved him. Admirable, since you were once a part of a cult. But that symbol you have there, do you know what it is?
I know that it has given me the ability to stay alive. For a moment there, I was more or less incapacitated, throwing crossbow bolts at everything. So I know it's helped me. Beyond that, I know nothing about it.
Halflings worshipper, especially me family. Halflings, we have different deities and shit. Depends on what family you come from. Farmers worship certain gods, and fishermen worship certain ones. Leather workers, we worship all different kinds of deities. And so I'm going to pull out my lucky charm, which is actually a locket with the same exact symbol as his holy symbol. And I'm just going to flip it to him. And I said, and I'm going to look at him and I'm going to say, she's a good one. Maybe not good enough to save me family, but she's a good one. Her name is Hestia. She's been protecting me family for generations. She is a goddess, unlike any other. The kindest you will ever meet. When we were growing up, I didn't believe in this shit. I wanted to go out and adventure, do my own thing, maybe cause some havoc here and there. So you can see where she and I didn't agree on certain things. But before I left, my mother had this locket, and we're farmers, and there was an old tradition, old halfling tradition, that we would put the seed into the locket, close it tight, and we would pray to the goddess. Then we would put the seed into the ground, and out came beautiful trees, cabbages, potatoes. She provided, and always will provide, so long as we believed. But I didn't believe. I was a stupid kid. So, that there, you better worship her. You don't know what you're gonna have until it is gone.
I will keep an eye on your locket.
I want you to keep it.
In my experience, cabbages and potatoes don't win wars.
They don't. But hope does. And that is what she is. She is hope. I have no family. I have nobody to go back to. And I'm gonna just start. There's just gonna like have one tear roll down. And do you know what that is like? To feel so guilty. To feel that there was nothing you could do. No matter the power you have, there is nothing you can do to save the one thing you cherish. I was a kid. I was stupid. I said a lot of hurtful things. I took this locket for granted. I took me faith for granted. Me family for granted. And now more than anything, I wish to be home. But I can't. It's gone. I'm not the faithful person. Hestia knows what I have done, and I don't think she would approve of a lot of the shit I've done. The least I can do for you is the one thing my mother gave to me, and that is hope. Because I swear upon the goddess, if you go back to that cult, I will come back for that locket with your blood on it. That is a halfling promise.
Halfling promise, is that a gift accompanied by a threat?
It is. And you're dealing with a pirate. That's double.
Yeah, so I know I can trust what you say.
Aye. Well, you better. You watch my back, I watch yours. That's all I wanted to tell you. Maybe give you a little insight on that there symbol, since you know you worship an evil whatever the fuck that thing is.
When Xanda marches, we will see what outmatches her first. Hope or strength.
Aye, well in me experience, hope kinda prevails. Strength didn't save me from that fall from me ship. It was hope. Me crew. The faith of me compatriots. I want to have faith in you, I really do. My father had faith in you.
Your father knew me but for 3 days. I did something for him that I thought was necessary at the time, and
No, it wasn't necessary. You could have let the old man die. I know it, you know it. There is something in you, Talvis. Something I have not seen in a very long time.
I could turn around and walk back across that field and go back over that mountain and you guys wander into the depths there by yourself. I could do a lot of things, and motivations can be mysterious, and I don't feel that we've known each other long enough to understand them or each other. But
No, I get your point.
I understand that you have suffered a great loss, and your gift is, that's I suppose what we can call it. It's doesn't go unappreciated, but I don't know that it will do me much good. Shall see, I guess.
Aye, we shall. Just want you to keep that in mind.
Let's
I
get
didn't
it.
like you. That was a fact. You and I bicker like an old married fucking couple. But I want to believe in you. That's the least I can do for anybody. And if I die, I want to go out in the blaze of glory and maybe take that bitch's head off. I just don't want to take your head off also. Keep that in mind. I'm just gonna walk away on that note.
And I'll go ahead and pocket the pocket watch. You said
It's a locket of Hestia.
the locket, that's yeah, and just walk back to the campfire and resume my, what did you call it?
Your nap.
My nap.
Fuck, take some inspiration, man. Thank you. All right, so you lay down and you resume your nap.
Oh man.
Yeah. So, Daedalus, it's evening time. What are you doing? You only need 4 hours of meditation, is that correct?
Yeah, I'm just gonna start meditating right now.
Okay.
Oh.
Yes.
Before, is it too late to use my ring of spell story?
Too late!
Is it too late?
Yes!
You're in that.
No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank you.
you can use your ring of spell storing. So
He had
Up
looked
to-
at the straw.
up to 5 levels.
I know, because I psyched myself up for that too.
He was
So
so psyched about nap.
Yeah,
time.
any amount of spells up to 5 levels worth of spells. So.
I'm gonna cast, and I do have these slots left over from last time. I kept count, so I'm gonna cast 1 Revivify into it, which is 3rd level,
Mm-hmm.
and 2 Healing Words, which are each 1st level.
Look at you, stacking them up.
Yeah. So
All right. It's like you anticipate some sort of complication. It's so weird.
Better to be prepared.
Yeah, yeah.
Have it and not need it.
Foreshadow. All right, so you go ahead and you cast you summon the divine energies with a prayer to Hestia, and her divine touches. It's a warmth that you feel, whereas with Talos, whenever you felt that divinity, it was a strength. This is more of a warmth. But your touch with her divinity is strong. And you summon your arcane energies and you're able to cast the spell, and it's the first time you've used this ring. So you think you've done it right.
Okay.
You're pretty sure. So
Cool.
now does that, I believe that requires attunement, yes? Ring of spell storing?
I can tell you in about 10 seconds.
Sure. That's just for you to keep in the back of your mind. Just everybody remember, you can only attune 3 magic items. So there are some magic items that you don't need to attune, but there are, the more unique ones you do need to attune. So.
It does require
Attunement. Okay, so you spend 20 minutes or so to attune to the ring, then you cast your spell, and so yeah, you're ready to rock and roll.
All right, now I will nap.
Okay, so you nap.
This is gonna be a real thing, guys. Nap is very real.
I don't even know how this happened. It just did. It's the beauty of D&D. All right, so Daedalus, you are
I am currently meditating.
meditating. And you don't get that sense of foreboding that you did before. You know, it's just like a regular, you know, a meditation that you normally would take. Just kind of revitalizes your elven energies. So yeah, all goes well. Is there anything that you want to do outside of your meditation as the rest of the group rests? Because you have a little more time on your hands than they do.
Have
So.
I completed that spell yet?
I will say that if you take the rest of the time, yes, you have.
Okay, I'll take the rest of the time then.
Awesome.
And
Okay. So you will now have Identify as a ritual spell in your spell book. Congratulations.
Yay.
Awesome.
Finally.
Yes. Hey, he worked hard for that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he
that's
did.
no bullshit. He worked hard for that. All right, Barag. So everybody's kind of getting set for the evening to rest. So is there anything that you want to do?
I'm actually gonna stay up and take watch, just in case. I'm gonna stay up
Sure.
and take a first watch.
Okay. So you talk to what's her
Are my the dwarves around by chance? Those two dwarves?
there are a few dwarves.
Yeah.
Around the
two dwarves I
excavation.
talked to last time.
They were with the patrol. They weren't with the excavation site. They were with the patrol that you guys met outside of the Abru Nova. Yeah.
Yeah, that was right. Okay. Yeah.
So she met the halflings at this excavation site. That's who
Yeah.
she met. Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, there are dwarves helping with the excavation.
I'm just gonna just sit by the fire and stand watch and
Sure.
and then I'm gonna actually take a patrol around there after I sit by the fire for a little while. I take a patrol around the outer perimeter where
Mm-hmm.
their rudimentary defenses are,
Sure.
just to make sure.
Yeah, and you know, as you are kind of staring into the fire, and you kind of glance over to see the makeshift barricades. I mean, you know, it's a very haphazard defense. I mean, they have no former soldiers in this research team, so it's literally like little makeshift fences with branches, and you know, it's not. They're no really. It's not a sound defense. So
Fancy.
yeah.
Okay. Is there anything I can start learning during this downtime that I'm sitting here?
What would you like to learn?
I actually want to start trying to learn masonry.
Masonry.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to.
I will tell you what. You are a dwarf, so you are familiar with stonework, but you don't have masonry as a proficiency.
Mhm.
I will say that if you take a couple of hours to study these ancient ruins, because it's a rare opportunity that you have to study ancient masonry.
Yes.
It's probably an opportunity that you know, current masons would relish to have. So if you take an opportunity to kind of, as you're walking your perimeter during your couple of hours of watch, to kind of look over the ancient columns that were built and carved, the different types of stone that were used, I would say, yeah, you're well on your way. So I would say that would be your first step into masonry tool proficiency, if that's what you want to pick up.
Yes, I do indeed.
Okay. What languages do you know?
I just know Dwarvish,
Okay.
and I can speak Draconic because of my weapon.
Yeah, that's true.
So, Draconic and Dwarvish.
Okay. So you do see hieroglyphics in a lot of the stone as you're kind of looking over the different types of cuts of each stone, the shapes of each stone, maybe where the stone comes from. You do see some ancient hieroglyphics within the stone, but you're not really sure what the hieroglyphics mean. It's in a language that you don't really understand. So, but yeah, so you take your patrol, and let's take a look here. So it goes relatively quiet during your patrol. So
Nothing stirring.
No, nothing stirs. Every once in a while, you do get, you know, the coyote or jackal howling out in the distance. Every once in a while, you can see kind of like a set of eyes up at the top of a hill, kind of peering down at the camp. You could see the light reflecting off the eyes, and then it will just disappear.
I'm gonna go walk over to Daedalus and kind of nudge him to see if he's done meditating.
I would say Daedalus is just beginning his meditation. Yeah.
Okay. And then these two just started taking nap.
Yeah, they're both in nap time.
They're in nap time?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go roll Terra High Hill out of nap time.
Sure.
And
At your own risk.
yeah.
Hmm.
I walk over and
Armor class was 17.
Well, he's not attacking you.
I'm not attacking you. I'm
He's
gonna
not
go over and I'm
kicking
just
you
gonna
like you kicked.
I curb stomp Terra High Hill while she's sleeping.
you know,
Yeah.
it's just a halfling.
Yeah.
Halfling.
Yeah. But I'm just gonna go over and nudge her with Chimera Rising and be like, "Wake up, Terra! Come on! It's your watch."
Mm.
I'm just gonna roll her towards the fire.
Okay.
And
Very slowly.
I'm just gonna keep my face down to the pillow.
Make an intelligence check.
Mm-hmm. 18.
18. Okay. So, as he kind of is pushing you with his war maul, you know, closer to the campfire, because it gets cold in the desert at night, and so the bottom of your breeches catch on fire. So you see, kind of a little burst of flame.
I'm gonna get out of my bag and get like one of the water containers I filled up.
Sure.
And then just pour a little bit to where it goes out.
Okay. We'll say let's take you grab a container, water container, and you kind of splash it on your backside, and it douses it a little bit, but it's starting to catch on the dry portions of your clothing. You're gonna take 4 points of fire damage. So what do you do?
I'm gonna pull out the frostbrand dagger and point it at him and be like, "What the fuck do you want?"
I just sit your damn ass in the sand, it'll go out. You fucking pussy.
Alright, I'm gonna...
While you're talking to him, you take another 4 points of fire
I'm
damage.
just thinking, like, isn't she on fire?
She's on fire,
I was gonna say I'm gonna sit in the sand and then also try and pour a little more water.
Sure. You know your frostbrand dagger has a thing, right?
No, it's only in.
Oh, that's the light, though.
No, I thought it was also.
Just read it real quick. Double check.
It's also with enchanted fire. I thought only.
No, read it.
I'm reading it. Resistant to fire damage. Of
Okay,
course.
so you take a total of 4 points. Yeah.
Thanks. There.
But I believe there's also something where you can put out flame within 30 feet of your dagger.
Magical flames.
Magical flame. Okay. All right. So yes, you manage. You sit down. You squat right on the red desert sand, and you've got a couple of charred cheeks, and you see Barag standing over you, kind of smiling.
Well, you didn't want to get up, my friend. This one's on you. You learned your lesson, I hope, my friend. Now walk away.
Do you guys want to roll initiative?
Yeah, I'm rolling initiative.
Whoa! I was just kidding. All right.
Whoa, you
I
really
have a
wanna
throwing dagger, by the
You
way.
want to test your metal against me, my friend.
All right,
You get-
roll initiative.
Oh,
She's rolling. She wants to roll initiative. Roll initiative.
alright.
Here we go. What'd you roll?
10.
10.
9, and with my initiative, that is also going to be a 10.
10. Okay. Who has a higher natural dexterity? I believe it's Terra.
Oh yeah.
You go first.
I have 16, yeah.
So I'm gonna get my throwing daggers out And I believe I have. Let me make sure.
This was really quickly.
I have 4.
They're gonna kill
Okay.
you before we even go into the
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
I'm asleep.
Yeah. You're good thing you're taking a nap now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw him like in, like either in front or at his feet.
Okay.
And halfling look.
You rolled a 1.
Yeah.
First. Oh, okay. Nice.
Oh.
First attack roll of the day.
Nope.
No, that does not hit. Alright,
Not at
so.
all.
Well, I mean, her objective is to miss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you just missed really far from your intended missing target. So yeah, your dagger kind of goes a little too far to the left.
Natural 20.
That's your second attack? Okay, so you hit close to his feet with the second one? Is that
Yes.
what I'm understanding? Okay, so she takes out 2 daggers and she throws one, goes off a little far to the left, and then she throws a second one that lands like right next to where your toe would have been, but you're missing like most of your toes. But if you had a toe there, it would have been severed off.
Well, too bad you missed my already missing toe.
What the fuck do you want? You wake me up and then you walk away. How stupid are you, you stupid dwarf?
You don't listen, do you? It's your watch, and these daggers are now mine.
So
There's plenty of
And I
people
scoop up the
here.
daggers, and I put them. I scoop up the one dagger in front of me, and I put it in.
So as you guys are arguing, you see kind of like a little crowd of workers, kind of like just watching in awe. Like a couple of them have a couple of pickaxes, and they're like ready to move. They don't really know what to do, but they're all kind of like watching with their mouths hanging open.
There's plenty of people here. Now will you leave me alone and let me go back to sleep?
No. I saw something during my shift.
There's plenty of shit out here. Weren't you listening to anybody?
It doesn't matter. You want to leave. They're not soldiers. They're workers. If something comes up on us in the night, we aren't going to have time to react.
I will be fine. I'm gonna go back to the campfire. Go back to sleep.
I'm going to walk over and I'm going to grab her and I'm going to drag her to the edge of the camp and plant her ass.
Okay, so you
Yeah.
need to make an attack roll. It's your turn in the initiative.
14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
What's your armor class?
23.
17.
Oh, he got you. All right, so he grabs you. So go ahead and make a no. So yeah, he grabs you. What do you do? It's your turn anyway.
Is there any way that I can use my? Where is it? Where the hell is it? No, uncanny dodge wouldn't work, huh?
No.
Dang it!
Too late.
I'm gonna see if I can get out of it.
Sure. So you're going to take this action to escape?
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead and roll.
18,
Modified 18?
22.
22. Okay, go ahead and this is going to be contested, so roll a strength check.
Oh. Strength?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. 23.
What'd you
Dang
roll?
it. 22.
Okay, so you try to wriggle out of his grip, but he manages to just keep his arms around you right at the fingertips, holding tight, and he's dragging you over to the edge of the camp.
So I'm just gonna like cross my arms across my chest, go. Just
Okay,
stop.
all right, it's your turn in the initiative, Barag.
So I'm gonna keep dragging her, and then I'm gonna just set her down in the sand and say, "You're gonna stay here, and you're gonna stay on watch."
You don't have to roll for that.
Oh.
No.
Well, yeah. So I'm gonna plant her down in
Sure.
the sand, and if you don't stay, something bad is going to happen.
What, like your throat slit in the middle of the night?
No, it's more like gonna be all of our throats gonna be slit in the night. I saw something at the top of the hill right there. Eyes flashed at the top of the hill, and I saw the light reflect.
Just go to
And then
bed,
he
you
disappeared.
stupid dwarf.
You're gonna thank me later for this.
Is he walking away at this point?
I don't know.
I'm gonna start walking away to go,
I'm gonna
to
flip
bed.
him off as his back is.
All right,
and I'm gonna take off my armor and
sure.
take
Okay.
my sleep for the night.
Okay, so 10 minutes later, Barag is armor free and over by the campfire. Okay. So you're forced to take a watch.
Is he asleep at this point?
He just
KO'd?
took his armor off and he's
Dang it.
lying down. You have a pair of pantaloons / breeches with a hole in the ass, with little burnt marks around the edges. But the cool night air of the desert is hitting your 4 points of flame damage. It's refreshing.
I'm gonna just take watch for 30 minutes and then go back to sleep.
Okay.
Till he goes to bed.
So you take your sleep.
I actually have deep intuition, so I
Oh, you're metagaming now. I see.
no, I do. It says it right here.
All right. What does this
So-
deep intuition tell you?
This deep intuition tells me that I'm sleeping, but with one eye open, watching Terra as she walks back to camp.
You can't be sleeping and watching her at the same
Yeah.
It's
time.
called deep intuition.
All right.
At least to me, that's what it seems like.
I
would
see.
be able to sense that she's not on watch.
All right.
Gaming.
All right, Professor X. So, all right. So you walk around for about a half hour. Every once in a while, you'll see a glint of eyes off on the top of a hill, kind of looking down at the camp, and then they quickly kind of disappear. But you hear and see a lot of things in the evening. Local wildlife. Jackals and coyotes off in the distance. Every once in a while you'll hear a thump, 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 like run across, and you'll see rabbit tracks. But nothing large or imposing.
Okay.
So, what do you do?
I'm gonna go try and go back to sleep.
Okay. So that 30 minutes hits. Terra High Hill marches back to the campfire, determined.
And I'm gonna just like mutter under my breath, stupid fucking dwarf made me go out and watch over stupid nothing.
Sure. Okay, so the evening goes on, and morning. The first light of morning breaks over the horizon. Nothing malevolent seemed to enter the camp. Other than Terra and Barag, there are no other malevolent beings here. And you guys wake up to the smell of a caffeinated beverage, some bacon strips, and some quail eggs being cooked over a campfire. And a lot of the researchers are preparing a morning meal.
So I'm gonna stand up and walk over to one of the researchers and say, "Do I smell a caffeinated beverage?"
So
I don't know
yeah.
if they have coffee.
Yeah.
Okay, they do.
Shit, they have coffee everywhere.
Do I smell coffee?
So yeah, it's we're making a fresh pot right now.
Okay.
I don't know what this coffee stuff is, but it is a caffeinated beverage.
Okay. He knows what caffeine is.
Yeah. Well, it comes from a bean. We call it bean juice, hyper bean juice, and it comes from a bean that we cook. We grind it into dust. We put that dust into a pot with water, and then the water that comes out is amazing.
Bean juice.
Yes, it's called hyper bean juice.
Despite the name, I think I'll have a mug.
We're planning on opening a whole franchise of hyper bean juice stores everywhere on every corner.
That is exactly what the world needs.
$5 copper a cup. People will pay it.
Yes.
I know that they will.
I'd pay
As
it now.
crazy as that sounds.
But that's free bean juice over there, right?
Free. Well, for now it's free hyper bean juice.
I'll
Yes.
take it then.
Yeah.
And I'll go ahead and when it's done, grab a mug and fill it up, and just look around. Do I see anybody? Like any of the party?
I don't know. Are you guys smell the wafts of breakfast in the morning? You guys decide to wake up, or?
I wake up and I just start like dusting my leather armor and
Okay. So
putting it on.
as you see Terra dusting her leather armor, you see that she's got no ass in her pajamas at all.
Is she
It's
close
been
to me?
completely burned away. Yeah.
Okay.
She's just dusting. You guys are all slept by the campfire.
Right. Okay.
Daedalus, you probably see this as well. You didn't actually sleep. You meditated for a few hours, and you've been up ever since. You're just finishing up the spell, transcribing the spell in your spell book.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of look up, and then you see Terra with no ass, no breeches in her ass, just kind of like dusting her leather armor.
Is there a story behind this?
Why don't you ask the stupid dwarf?
Hey, stupid dwarf.
So Barag is fast asleep.
I'm gonna walk up closer towards my mug and just like, ha! I thought your people were lucky, and I still got that locket if you need it.
I may need it after the night I've had.
Well, Barag over there looks rather comfortable. Certainly fared better than you.
Certainly. Don't worry. I'll get him next time.
Oh yes, I'm sure you will get each other. And just take another sip of my bean juice.
Yes, your hyper bean juice.
Almost said coffee.
All right, so you guys enjoy a nice meal. Obviously, it's not a huge meal because there are they've got a ration, so they don't know how long they'll be there. But the quail eggs are kind of scavenged from the desert birds. And then the bacon they have shipped in. So Barag.
I'm actually gonna stir and smell what's left over of bacon.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna pick up one of my gauntlets and just pour sand out of it. Just watch it.
A lot of red sand just
Yeah.
pouring out of your armor. Terra had the right idea by dusting her leather duds, because overnight in the desert it just gets full of dust and dirt.
And whatever
I
else
hate
may
sand.
come
It gets
out.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I pour it all out and I start putting on my armor. I make sure there's no little creatures,
Good
in
call.
the night that crawled into my armor. So I empty everything out.
Good
and then
call.
Put it on before.
Yeah. I will say no. There was no scorpions or spiders in your greaves. It was probably the smell of them that kind of kept them away from your footwear. But
Highly accurate.
yeah. But yeah, so you put on your armor. You take 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, so you take the 10 minutes, and your armor's looking a little long in the tooth. I mean, you've got dings and dents from your very first fall off the Crimson Spire that have never really been attended to. So you see, like, a lot of the leather straps are starting to kind of come undone on their own. The armor itself is looking a little janky. But it's still completely serviceable, but it probably will need to be attended to at some point in the future. So, and there is just enough food for a meager breakfast, but yeah, not a dwarven-sized breakfast. You're not singing and eating at the same time. It's like, oh shit, one egg and a strip of bacon, cool. Yeah.
I guess that'll have to do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna walk back up to Terra and say, hey, whatever happened there, and point at her pants. I'm gonna say, use these next time. I'm gonna pull out those marbles and hand them to her. Are they in like a pouch or something?
They're in a box.
They're in a box. Okay,
Yeah, it's a polished box.
And would we say I could demonstrate them without necessarily expending their use? Okay.
Sure.
So I'm gonna sort of hold them in my hand and sort of whisper something, and watch as they rise into the air and take an orbit around me. Say, might do you some good. Won't protect you for long, but they'll protect you. And put them back in the box and hand it to her.
Aye, that may come in handy next time our dwarven friend decides to wake me up in the middle of the fucking night.
Do you know what they are?
As soon as
Yeah, he showed the demonstration.
But
so.
do you, the
Yeah,
player?
because
Okay.
remember we were all together in the window.
Sure. Okay, cool.
As soon as I find that little slip of paper here somewhere, I'll give it to you.
Okay, cool. All right, so you have you can add that to your inventory, and it's called Steel Marbles, and they were created by a gnomish wizard who is also a toy tinkerer.
Who likes
And
photos?
was infatuated with no, wasn't he was a dwarf. Nicholas was a dwarf.
Oh, that's right.
This was a gnomish wizard who was obsessed with games, and he created a lot of his spells and enchantments were game based. So, and marbles was a big part of that. So, yeah. And so what do you guys do?
It's like pretty early morning. At this
It's early
point.
morning. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's still a little nippy outside, but yeah. Everybody's, getting their breakfast, ready to start their work day, as it were.
As I finish my hyper bean juice,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to find whoever is nearest to me, probably Terra still at this point.
Yeah. I mean, you guys are all pretty close to the campfire. You guys had your own like campfire for your group, so
Okay.
and there were several campfires amongst the main camp. So
So I'm gonna look around and say, well, point up at the temple and say, well, yeah, might as well be making our way in.
I guess you're right. Better get whatever this thing is that your girlfriend wanted.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm gonna do. Is
what else can be said?
yeah.
So you guys do see the kind of like the expedition leader, the head scholar Ulud Ramir, and she's having some breakfast. She's just finishing up. She walks over to you guys, and she's like, "Good morning. I hope the evening treated you all well."
Some of us better than others.
Okay, all right. Well, luckily there was no incursion of anything malevolent in the desert last night. That's a rarity in these parts. But we've lost so many lives here already. Did you guys ready to venture into the temple?
No.
Suppose we are.
As ready as we will ever be.
Okay. So she takes you to the valley. So this is the main expedition starts here, and this is actually the valley now. The valley it twists and turns, as you can see on the map, and on the left and the right side are these steep walls. They're probably about 30 feet tall. That's how deep this kind of cut into the desert is in the stone. And on the left and the right side of this little trench are man-sized divots, holes, and in each one is a cadaver, a body, and each body is tightly wrapped in cloth and with robes. Each robe that you guys are all familiar with the symbol, but each robe has a Talos symbol of the three-bolt king in each robe, and all bear kind of like these old holy symbols of Talos. So the best that you can surmise, at least Ulud tells you, is that these were all former followers of Talos, and this is where they've chosen to be buried. She says, we don't know if this is symbolic of them being guardians of this first temple, or if this was just a place of honor for them to be buried at the first temple, but there are literally hundreds of these mummified remains in this, and just in this trench alone, in this valley alone. So.
Well, we better proceed with caution, my friends.
Okay, so as you guys step forth, and you see like the bodies are literally, there's more divots and spaces with cadavers than there is stone that you can see as you walk past each one, and there isn't a single one that is empty. Each one of them has a body in it, and they all are standing, for the lack of a better word, but they are all upright, in an upright position. So and she says, a lot of the workers that are working on this excavation site refuse to touch the corpses. Many of them are superstitious, desert curses and things like that. So, and there have been very weird occurrences that are not really, we can't really explain. We initially started studying them, but the first researchers that did study them would come down with diseases, some flesh-eating diseases, or would fall off a scaffold and break their neck in such an odd way that it would defy logic. So the workers have stepped away from researching these cadavers, which is a shame because we might learn a lot. But
can I approach one and inspect it
sure.
closer?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna go up to it and being careful not to physically put my hand on it.
Mm-hmm.
I just like to get as close as possible and see if I notice anything that stands out beyond what we've already seen.
Sure. What are you looking for specifically? Just anything.
Any kind of any writing or anything I may recognize that's physically on the body.
Okay. Would you make an investigation roll for me?
I'm capped out on my inspiration, so I'd actually like to use one.
Sure, go for it.
That didn't work.
What'd you roll?
Critical fail, number 1.
Well, their bodies.
Turn around to the group and say, well, their bodies.
I think we already knew that.
Yes.
Thanks.
Well, I was just needed to be sure. And then we'll walk back and stand next to him.
So Ulud is just kind of looking at you like, okay.
Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna nod at her as if I'm her peer in this whole archaeology deal. It's like, yes.
Such an expert analysis.
Yes. Well, it's weird because the writing back there, it was children's stories, and now they've got dead bodies. The two don't seem to go together very well. But
Talos works in mysterious ways.
Talos does.
All right, so you guys continue through the valley, and you do get to the giant doors. The doors are actually open. You do see a couple of bodies that have looked like they have aged, but they're more recent. So Ulud kind of looks and she points to them, and those are some of our researchers that did not make it out of the temple as hard as they tried. Everybody, and I will not, I will include myself in this, now we are kind of afraid to go into the temple, even set foot in it. Yeah, we've lost a few in the temple. Some try to make it back, some almost do, but none ever have. If you find anybody alive in there, I would implore you to please bring them back. I mean, they could know things from their time in there that we would never know or have access to. So any information would be important. So
we will get ourselves out alive first.
Absolutely, absolutely.
If we can.
Yes.
And I suppose that's a reasonable request.
Excellent, excellent. So she gives you a kind of a rudimentary map. The map itself is just kind of what they could see from the outside looking in, with the doors being ajar. It's not very detailed. So so let's go ahead and pick up this map here. So you guys are coming in right from that corner right there. Yep. Yeah, there's no staircase there, so they're going to be some details on the map that aren't. I'll let you know what they are. So, so do you guys walk into the tomb?
Marching order, I say.
What is the marching order? Yes, please.
I will take lead.
Of course, you're gonna take lead.
Okay, you can take lead then.
No, I'm okay.
Bye. No, I will take second.
Well,
Terra High Hill, lead the way, my friend.
well, it's good for traps.
Miss Trap Lady.
Miss Trap Lady.
Yeah,
Okay.
go.
Okay, so you're first.
Yeah, I'll go.
Who's
first.
second? Are you going 1 by 1 or 2 by 2 or?
I say we go 2 by 2.
Right now, it's wide enough where you guys
Oh,
can
okay.
go 2 by 2 if that's what you want. So is it going to be?
It'll be. I'll lead. Tara and I will lead the front with them bringing up the rear.
Sure. Okay. Okay, so you go into a hallway. It's actually just the entranceway, and you do see 2 bodies, both humans. They look like they've been there for a couple of weeks, so they're looking rather ripe. You do see. Actually, make a perception check, all of you.
Modified 20.
Oof, nice.
12 plus 10.
10.
See what I put on that again?
You're gonna put, so it's perception. So you get a 6 on that one. You're proficient. So
Nice. So what would you roll?
I rolled a 12.
Okay, so a total of 8, modified 18. Okay, 18, 20, 10 and 10. Okay, so you guys notice it. You do see a lot of signs of vermin in the temple, rats and things like that. You do see bugs kind of chewing on the cadaver, on the corpse. You do see one of them actually looks like it has burns on it, but it doesn't look like burns from a fire. Don't know what it is, but it definitely is a burn of some sort. And Daedalus on the other one, you do notice one looks like it's been hit by lightning almost, right from the top of the head. Yeah.
Can I search their bodies?
Sure. Go for it.
Do I have to roll for that, right?
You do need to make an investigation roll, yeah.
Nine.
9? Whew, okay. I will say that you find 2 copper
2 copies.
on one. On the other, you find 1 silver.
What's up? That works for me.
Okay, so you guys are in the main hall. So what do you do?
I'm gonna check for traps first, beyond that wall, beyond that hall.
Sure, make a let's make an investigation roll. No. So yes, Tara, that is going to be a perception roll for checking for traps.
Here's an inspiration.
What did you roll?
3.
3? Okay.
22.
So as you look, you do see a tripwire. However, the tripwire had been triggered some time ago, it looks like, and whatever trap it was attached to has already been sprung.
Okay.
So
I'm gonna turn to the rest of the group and say, "Alright, lot. Looks like someone did the dirty work for us. They already triggered this trap. Why don't we move along?"
So in other words, some blind fool.
Hey, someone who is not very observant. Like our dwarf here. Not very observant at all.
These bodies that we saw coming in,
Mhm.
are they beyond the trap or are they before it?
they're after the trap.
So after she says that, I'm gonna sort of look over at the bodies and be like, yeah, well, probably wouldn't take too much guessing to figure that out.
Hey, the poor lot. Well, their lot's out of game. Let's move along now.
All right, so you guys move along. This. Okay, so pretend there are no stars on that map. So that's just a room.
That's pretty.
Yeah, it is cool.
That is
But you guys aren't getting cosmic, not just yet, anyway.
Oh.
So you do see a door on your left-hand side, and just beyond the door, you do see a hallway that kind of turns a corner.
Okay. I take it I'm going to be checking for traps on that one too. Because I already know the dwarf will be a little.
Are you
moody.
so
I'm going to check also for traps down that hallway.
down the hallway? Okay, go for it.
Are we talking about this turn here?
Here.
No, yeah,
Oh, the
right.
stairs.
Yes, right where. Yep,
Okay.
right where Jared is pointing to.
11.
Okay, so as you're walking down the hallway, you don't see anything that that sticks out to you. The hallway's empty. You do see more hieroglyphics on the walls, kind of similar to the hieroglyphics outside of the main camp on a lot of the stonework there. But it doesn't seem to be trapped at all.
Okay. Alright. Come on, you lot. Let's get head out.
Let's get a move on.
Okay, so you turn the corner, and you do see a small leather pouch at the end of the hallway, but that's it.
Okay, I'm gonna. And then the hallway was clear of traps, right?
As far as you know.
Okay.
I mean, you made a roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay. So I'm gonna walk down the hallway, and just before the leather pouch, is it a room or?
No, it's just a hallway.
Okay. All right. Well, there's something right there.
I guess I'll go with you.
Are you two coming or not?
Not. Oh, yeah, I mean, two's a crowd in this case. The hallway, I mean, it's only so wide. I'll stay back here and stay back here.
You weenie.
Yes.
All right.
Split the party.
So what are you doing?
You're splitting the party. Pouch on it.
Are you gonna look in the pouch or not? Because I already know your pirate self there, Terra.
Oh, Barag suddenly hesitated.
Yeah. Now he's
Now
thinking.
he's hesitant.
Yeah.
Didn't happen in the Crimson Spire.
Come back, Barag. Come join us back here. It's nice and warm.
Hey, someone's gotta stay with the half-moon pirate.
Oh, you're right.
I'm just gonna turn back to them. I'm like, fine, I won't get the pouch. Let's just head out.
Okay.
So what are you two doing? Are you two just?
So there's actually a door right on Barag's left that goes into the same room. That room has a door on both sides. So.
I'm gonna check for traps on the door.
Okay.
While she's distracted doing that, I'm gonna grab the pouch.
23.
23. It is locked. It doesn't seem to be trapped, as far as you know. You don't see any triggers, or you don't see any magic runes that would activate a spell. Nothing like that.
I'm gonna use my thieves tools.
Okay. So.
And I have a proficiency also.
Yes, you do.
With. Hold on. I think I have expertise also with my thieves tools.
Sure.
Can I grab the pouch while she does that?
You can absolutely grab the pouch.
Oh,
Which you
God.
think
Pouch.
Okay. So as you grab the pouch, you open it?
I do. I'm gonna open it and look inside and investigate what's inside there.
Okay.
See what's inside the bag.
Sure. You see, where is it? Interesting. You see a brown viscous fluid in a flask, a glass flask with little bits of fur in it,
Interesting.
and one piece of silver.
Nice. I will take the brown viscous liquid with fur in it
Liquid?
and stick it in my bag.
Liquid.
Liquid.
The more you know.
All right. So, did you roll to?
I'm going to right now.
Go for it.
Oh, yes. 25.
25. All right. So you take out your custom dragon bone thieves tools and you slip in one of the tools into the keyhole, and you goes right past you can feel the tumbler, you hear the click, and it opens up.
Okay. I'm gonna turn to the two little pansies behind me and just alright, come on you lot, let's go.
I'm gonna shout down the hallway. What was in the pouch?
You know what? Make a perception roll.
Oh.
Because you were down the hallway. Make a perception roll.
Okay. 13. Actually, 19.
19. And so yeah, you definitely did see him grab that pouch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what was in the pouch?
If you get your sorry ass up here, maybe you can find out, my friend.
Like you'll give it to me if I come down there?
Like, you better tell me what it is and give it back to me.
Okay, I'll take it from you, and I'll walk down the hallway and.
I follow him because I don't want to be left behind.
Okay, I'm gonna hand you the flask and
Hand who the
Would that
flask?
be?
I'm gonna hand Talvis the flask.
Are
Would
you
that be like an
sure?
Arcana?
That would be an Arcana check, or you do have somebody in the party that does have some sort of identify feature.
So why do you keep on handing it to him? You can't do anything about it.
Well,
I'm gonna lift it up and kind of shake it around and observe what you described
Mhm.
and
Yep.
say, well, it's brown and it's got something floating in it. Does that clear things up?
no,
You can
Daedalus,
try-
what about you?
I mean,
Talvis,
you can
do
roll
your
an
thing.
Arcana check. You can absolutely. You're proficient in Arcana, right?
No.
No, you're not. Okay.
Religion.
Ah,
So
Okay.
you're using
hand
Talvis.
it to
Daedalus.
I can't identify.
Okay, go for it. You don't need to actually roll for that.
I don't.
No, you just cast it. Yeah.
And
Oh,
then-
it was identified.
Yeah, it's identifying. All right, so you just cast it. So you summon the arcane energies through your spell book as you pop open your spell book and you read the spell. The fonts on your spell book actually start glowing blue and green, and it is a potion of animal friendship.
Ooh.
Alright, Daedalus, work it back over, my friend.
No, he hasn't told you. Do you want to tell him what it is?
It's a potion of animal friendship.
Yes.
Daedalus, you're so honest.
Thank you.
He's so honest. I'd have been like, it's just dirty water. I'll keep it.
Thank you, Daedalus. This will, no, take it back. Serve us
I'm
very
gonna
well in
just-
the future.
I'm
And I
gonna
put
just
it
turn
into
to
my-
Barag and been like,
I put
that
it
would
in
have
my
been
pouch.
useful with me owl bear.
Well, you didn't try to stop the guy from shooting him, so that's not my problem. And I put it into my satchel and I close it real quickly.
Very good. Very good.
And I keep my hand on the satchel away from
Guys, not everything is a trap. You guys are so.
Everything's
It's a trap. All right, so well, yeah, I guess you can't go wrong with that mentality, right? All right, so
Everything is a trap until it's not a trap.
yeah,
I was
So-
gonna say,
you do unlock the door, Terra.
okay,
Yeah.
and there were no traps, just so everybody knows.
Yeah, well, the door opened and we haven't died yet, so I think we know there's no
Yeah,
trap.
so you go into the room. You do see inside 4 mirrors. The mirrors are full-length mirrors. They have old dust cloths over each one of the mirrors.
Yeah, I'm afraid to pull any of these off. But you don't know what's gonna happen.
Fear not, Daedalus, and I will walk up to one of them and yank off the dust cloth.
Oh boy.
Just your reflection.
I'm gonna
See?
yank off another one.
Just your reflection.
I'm gonna yank off the one in front of Daedalus and then pull mine.
Okay. Just Daedalus's reflection and your reflection.
Is that all of the mirrors?
That's all the mirrors.
There's only 4.
Mhm.
Can I touch one? Just try to like push on it, or just
Sure.
touch it kind of
Sure.
gingerly?
Gingerly.
Yeah. So as you go to put your hand up to the mirror, your reflection doesn't move. Roll for initiative.
I knew it! I knew it!
It's
It's
a
gonna be
trap.
something with the reflections was gonna screw us. I knew it.
Yeah, I faced monsters like this before.
Kyle got a natural 20. Oh. Wow.
What?
Yes.
Nice.
Nat 20 over here on his side.
15.
Okay.
Mine is a modified 19.
So, okay, it is going to be. Now, in this one, I'm just going to roll one initiative for the reflections. So, they're going to share one initiative. I thought it would have been cool to have your reflections share your initiative. That would have been cool, but that would have been so much to keep track of. So, so you've got Daedalus. Anybody else roll 15 to 20?
Yeah, I did modified 19.
And then 15.
Yeah, 12.
12.
Terra and Talvis. Okay. So Terra, what's your health?
56.
Barag?
73. She's like 73.
Yeah. Daedalus?
53.
Okay, and Talvis?
57.
Okay. So clearly there's a tank in this group. We know who it is. Alright.
The problem is this is a kind of a tiny room, isn't it?
It is. It is something of a smaller room for sure.
Is there any way I can like keep away from them?
Yeah, I mean within the confines of the room, unless you choose to leave the room itself.
Where are they on
I'll show you right now.
Because if I try and walk away after them, like, there's gonna be one staying like right next to me.
Sure. Well, I'm sorry, next to you.
Yeah, so Barag, put that one in front of you. Okay. So Terra, put that one in front of you.
These guys, I'm trying to figure it out. I've seen this one before.
Put this one in front of Talvis. Put this one in front of Daedalus.
Yeah, I ain't going anywhere.
Alright, so yeah, so it's a pretty crowded room. So what are you gonna do? I mean, you are within melee range of your reflection.
So no moving unless you want that attack of opportunity.
Unless, yeah, they will take, well, they can take an attack of opportunity, sure.
Unless you disengage. But...
Unless you disengage, right. You
So-
can use your action to disengage, sure.
Have they like stepped out of these
They've
mirrors?
stepped out of the mirrors, yes.
And the mirror is behind him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there anything else left in the mirrors, or there's the reflections stepped out and there's nothing else in there?
There's nothing else in the mirrors.
And they're directly in front of them.
They're directly in front of them. Each image that has stepped out of the mirror is kind of a distorted version of yourself. For Barag, the Barag reflection is one with red eyes that glow. The Daedalus reflection is one that is surrounded by what would normally be multicolored pixies, but these pixies are all black, and you seem to have a bit of decomposition across its face. Yeah. For Terra High Hill, her reflection has like hair for seaweed, green skin, gills, and she looks like she had been soaking wet. And for Talvis, Talvis's reflection looks exactly like Talvis, except he's wearing a different holy symbol.
Probably know what that is. Maybe.
Alright, so, Daedalus, what are you doing?
Well, we're trying to cast mage armor.
Yes.
Mage armor on me.
Okay,
So I have mage armor now.
absolutely.
So now they're gonna have a slightly tougher time trying to take me down.
Mm-hmm.
And then that was an action roll.
I believe so. Let me double check. For mage armor, it might be a bonus action, but let me double check. And mage armor lasts like 8 hours to keep up. You don't. It's not a concentration either. So you could just say, like in the morning, oh, I put on my mage armor. So, what does your mage armor look like, by the way? Just curious.
It just looks like, probably pretty much like his, like Barag's armor.
Mm-hmm.
Just made out of, just looks very ethereal.
Okay. Yeah, it's one action.
Yeah, that's one action.
So you can take your action to cast mage armor.
Yep. So I cast mage armor.
Okay. So, excellent. Are you going to take any movement or do anything else?
No, I'm gonna stay right where I am. That's why I casted mage armor, because I'm trying, basically, since I can't really move anywhere, and disengaging won't really help because it's such a tiny wound.
Right.
And so I'm just gonna stay put, and hopefully they roll low.
Gotcha. Okay, so next we've got Barag. You
Can
are.
I get to the mirror?
The mirror is behind your yeah.
So, what I'm gonna do actually is I'm going to spectral ram him.
Okay. Go for it.
Yeah. So. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22.
That hits.
24.
Yeah. Roll damage.
Okay. So. 2d10.
I believe I get a save against that, right?
It doesn't specify. It just says on a hit, it takes 2d10 force damage and is pushed 5
Okay.
feet away from
Go
it.
for it.
I'm gonna try to like send him back to the mirror or something.
Exactly what I was thinking.
What'd you roll?
19.
13. Nice.
No, 14.
14. Okay.
14 plus my strength modifier.
Well, remember, it's not a.
Oh, yeah,
it's
yeah.
your spectral ram.
It's my strength
Okay, so
modifier.
you level off your Chimera Rising,
Mm.
War Maul, and you summon the energy within your weapon, and a spectral ram head appears, and you hear it like almost as it just moves forward. It hits your reflection. Your reflection goes back against the wall through the mirror. The mirror breaks, but it kind of picks itself up and looks at you, and it kind of levies its Chimera Rising Maul at you. So that is going to be the end of your turn.
No, extra attack.
You do have extra attack.
I'm gonna extra attack, and I'm going to just hit him with Chimera Rising.
Go for it.
13, 14, 15, 17, 18, 19,
20.
20.
What's your armor class?
My armor class is
18. That is a hit. So roll damage.
I'm gonna use my greater weapon fighting to reroll this 1. She got another 1.
Uh-huh.
5 and 10.
10.
Yeah.
Oof. Goodness gracious. All right. So you reach back with your War Maul Chimera Rising, and you hit it right where its pauldron is, the armor pauldron, and its armor is just as dinged up as your armor. But you actually crush it right in its shoulder, and you see its arm kind of collapse as you do. Well done. Is that the end of your turn?
That will be the end of my turn.
Okay. Next, it's actually going to be their turn. They roll pretty high on initiative. So first, it's going to be Terra Highhill, and her reflection does get sneak attack damage. Does not get advantage, but does get sneak attack damage.
And I can't use my steel marbles yet, huh?
Nope.
Darn it.
19.
Yeah,
Okay,
that hits.
so why don't you give me the million dice that you? Oh, just tell me what dice you use.
For which one? Just enchanted?
No, for your Frostbrand.
Oh Jesus. Okay. It's a D8, 4D4, and a D6.
Holy moly. You and your dice. Two.
This is about to hurt.
I may be dead.
And a D6?
And a D6, yeah.
Okay.
And then the D6 is the frost damage.
Yeah. Wow.
Told you.
Wow. 10, 17, 20, 24 points of damage with the first one.
That's only the first attack, guys.
And then here comes the second attack. What is your dexterity?
Actually,
with your weapons?
My uncanny dodge for the first attack.
Okay, so you get to cut that in half, that damage. Okay.
And that is 24, 12.
12, yeah. So you manage to, as it strikes with your frostbrand dagger, you manage to kind of like move out just a little bit, but it still catches you pretty good on your shoulder. So what's your modifiers for your second attack?
It's 4D4.
No, for the to attack.
Oh, to attack? Oh, that would be dexterity 5 plus 1.
Misses on the second one. And it is going to stay put right where it is. Okay, so now we have Barag. No, now we have Daedalus. The Daedalus reflection pulls out a wand from its belt. And it is going to move here. And it's going to get Barag and it's going to get Daedalus in its effect. So it pulls out a wand. The wand has like a miniature skull at the end of it. So I need you guys to roll a save, please. A wisdom saving throw.
So we can add our wisdom modifier.
To the roll, yes.
I'm gonna
16.
turn in another inspiration on you.
Okay.
Check your wisdom modifier and add it.
+3.
Okay.
So
that's 4 plus
7.
3.
So he has 7 and I have 6.
Okay. So as Daedalus's twisted image of himself pulls out this wand, he says an ancient incantation, and you see this arcane energy just erupt forward from this wand. It just covers you completely, Barag. And for a second, like, your knees get weak and you start sweating bullets, and the irises in your eyes kind of like narrow really quickly, and you almost want to run away for a quick second, but you're like, no, stay put, and you manage to fight off the effect. Daedalus, the energy kind of washes over you. You are bathed in its energy, and then you just kind of drop anything that you have in your hand immediately, and then you just kind of crawl into the corner, and you just kind of cower in fear, unable to move. And you are in a frightened state for 1 minute. So keep track of that. That is going to be 10 rounds. Put this around Daedalus.
10 rounds.
10 rounds. That is going to be his action. So now we've got Barag. Okay, Barag is going to look at Barag.
I'm gonna spit in his face.
That's
As he looks at
that is a bonus action, sir.
Oh.
All right. So, what is your modifiers for Chimera Rising to add to an attack?
+1 to the attack for just the 2-hand attack.
No, I mean your strength modifier plus your
Oh.
proficiency and all that.
5, so that's 7. That's 5, 6, 7, 8 for the proficiency.
Okay.
Total.
All right. So 12 misses.
Oh.
He takes his extra attack. 14 misses. He's gonna screw it. He's gonna action surge.
Bring it.
That definitely hits. So what's your damage on Chimera? It's 2d6, right?
Yeah, 2d6 plus 1 damage. So plus 1 to whatever you roll.
10 total bludgeoning damage. Yeah.
Okay.
So he reaches back with Chimera rising, and he brings it over. He hits right next to your left foot. He brings it over again. You manage to kind of duck out of the way as it hits the ground and makes a crack in the stone, but he brings it over to the side, almost like a baseball bat, and he manages to catch you and hit you right in the ribs with the third hit. And the last one is going to be Talvis. And Talvis' reflection is going to cast Toll the Dead on Talvis. Yeah. Yeah. Toll the Dead is a pretty awesome new spell in Xanathar's Guide to Awesome. So put this around your mini, that way I know. So with Toll the Dead, you hear bells kind of filling the air around you, Talvis. So go ahead, and I need you to make a wisdom saving throw. What's your wisdom save DC?
Well, my own spell save
Yeah,
DC
yeah. What's your own spell save DC?
is 14.
Okay, so you got to beat 14 on a wisdom
Okay.
save. So go ahead and roll. And then you just add your wisdom modifier to that, and it's got to beat 14. Would you roll? 5?
Modifier.
Okay. Oh, all right. So you are going to take 1d8 necrotic damage. You take 7 points of necrotic damage.
I sure do.
And it's actually going to stay put. It's not going to take any movement. So that is going to end the reflections turns. Terra, High Hill, you're up.
So I'm actually going to use one of my potions here. Well, it's actually, where is it? I'm going to use the Oil of Sharpness. It's
Wow.
for 10 rounds, and I'm going to use it on my Frostbrand.
Is that I believe that's an action, no?
Does not say.
Okay, I believe it's an action to apply an oil.
Yes.
If you want to take an action to apply your Oil of Sharpness, you can do so.
I'm gonna do that, and then my because I have dual wield, I do have 2 actions. I
Okay.
think. So I'll use my Frostbrand.
Wait, 2 actions?
Is it 2 actions? Or no, 2 double attack.
Double attack, yeah.
And then I'll use. Oh no! Darn it! I can use my bonus action though to attack.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna use my bonus action.
Go for it.
Can
No,
I
no,
use-
you can't. Because your second attack is just dual wield.
Give me a second.
So you don't have action surge like he does.
Yeah. Okay.
Your second attack is just simply one action.
Mm-hmm.
But so if you're using that one action, because
Okay.
you have a weapon in,
So can
in
I
each
use
hand.
my Oil of Sharpness after? For my bonus action?
No, because it's an action to use it.
Okay. Never mind then.
You can either attack or use your Oil of Sharpness.
I'm gonna attack.
Okay, go for it.
It's not worth it, dude. It's not worth it. Not for as much damage as I've been getting. Get that nonsense. $19.
19 is a hit. You do not get sneak attack damage because it's not next to. Okay, so go ahead and roll your
Oh,
damage.
how did she get sneak attack damage?
Because
she's
you're
not
you're next to.
because she's not next to anybody either.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Okay, so take add 6 more points of health to your thing. Yeah, you're right.
So I don't get sneak attack, right?
Good eye, yeah, but you don't get sneak attack either, yeah.
That's fine.
It's weird the way you guys are positioned on the map because neither one of you are next to
Anybody.
an ally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just kind of divided in
Yeah.
corners. You know what's funny is I positioned ourselves that way before the mirrors ever appeared. That's exactly how I put ourselves.
2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Okay, that's with your enchanted dagger.
That's with my
Frostbrand.
Frostbrand.
12. Okay, she is gonna use uncanny dodge and take 6 instead. Okay, go ahead and use your second attack now.
13, 18.
18. Oof. You did 18 points that second one?
No,
Yeah,
no,
that's
that's
it.
for my second.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, that definitely hits.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll damage.
Let's just these ones. Yeah. I don't have my sneak attack. It's throwing me off.
Go for it. I know, it's weird, right?
1,
9,
5,
3, 6, 9. 15. You count 9. Oh.
14.
14. Okay. So that is...
Yeah, when it comes to counting and doing math, stop making it hard on yourself.
So you hit it with Frostbrand, and your Frostbrand dagger does sink deep. Not as deep as you thought it would, because she manages to kind of like mitigate that damage a little bit with her natural fluid movements. But your second attack does sink deep. You do get her right in the stomach with your enchanted dagger, so well done. Second in your turn?
Yes.
Okay, great. Next, it's going to be Talvis, and Daedalus, you're on deck. So you're going to have to do a save on your next turn.
At the very least, at least you know how many hit points they have.
Yeah.
That's true.
Since they're us.
That's true.
So I'm gonna cast Spirit Guardians.
Sure.
So as I cast this, let's say dozens of small Fey-like creatures are going to appear and start flying around me within a 15-foot radius.
Yes.
And they're just gonna track on that circle, and as they pass any reflection, they're going to, I'll say, just kind of a few of them will break off and flit around the reflection in between their limbs, and then sort of join the path again, and this will just continue on as the spell is maintained, because it is a concentration.
Yes.
Up to 10 minutes on concentration. So what that will do is their speed will be halved, and anytime they start their turn within that 15-foot radius, and everybody else I can designate to be unaffected, anytime the reflections start their turn within that radius or enter it on turn, they have to make a wisdom saving throw.
Right.
Take
3d8
radiant damage. On a successful save, they'll take half.
Okay.
And if I'm understanding it correctly, like they wouldn't make that roll now. It's when they start their turn in it. So I will keep that up, and then I will. Let's see.
Now that's an action to cast Spirit Guardians. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I will. Do I have any movement I can take? I'm trying to look at that room and see. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 20 feet across. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this would currently catch.
It would catch everybody. Yeah.
I would not move like at all.
No, I don't really want to, because it's gonna take a attack of opportunity anyway. So yeah, that is going to be it
Okay.
for me.
One thing I noticed is the way this map is arranged, you like pretty much you're forced to go into that room. There's like no way around it.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So that's gonna end your turn? Yes.
Yes.
All right, Talvis. Daedalus, you need to make a Wisdom save DC, sir.
17.
Okay. So as you are cowering in the corner, you manage to shake off the effects of the this fearsome energy that you were bathed in, and you're able to break it. So what do you do?
So I can now take in action.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Daedalus, this is your world. We're just all living in it. So
see, unfortunately I am at melee range with pretty much
Yeah.
everybody in the room.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
So casting the spell will be like bleh.
You could cast a spell if you want.
Yeah, but most of mine are ranged. Does that harm me in any way?
No.
No?
You'll be at disadvantage if it's within melee.
Yeah, see, that's the problem.
It's just like any ranged attack.
So,
You do have daggers available as well.
I'm gonna do
Chill
chill touch
touch? Okay.
because that is a melee range thing, right?
Chill touch, I believe it is a melee attack. So you get to make a melee attack to cast the spell of chill touch. And you're casting out against your own reflection, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead and
Is it that die with like the?
yeah, the one with the cape.
Okay.
So go for it.
Let's see if I hit him first. 18.
18 does hit. So go ahead and roll 1d8.
6.
Okay. So it takes 6 points of necrotic damage. It's technically not undead, but it's technically not living either. So for the purposes of this spell, I will count it as undead, as an undead target.
Okay.
So that will give it disadvantage on attack rolls against you until the end of your next turn.
Ooh.
So,
Plus, he's not getting that health back.
yeah, it's necrotic damage. That's right. Okay, well done. So as you touch it, you grab Daedalus's armor or arm, and you see these black veins of rot slowly creep up its arm and up its neck as its eyes widen in fear of its own demise. Well done, Daedalus. Barag, you're up.
So I'll just continue attacking myself.
Go for it. Sounds funny.
Yeah, it sounds so weird. I'm just gonna keep attacking myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jared, stop hitting yourself.
Stop hitting myself.
Tried to spit in your own face.
Yeah, sure. I did try to spit in my own face earlier, which was rather awkward when you think about it.
You're hitting
18, 19, 20, 26.
You're like,
26 does hit.
Yay.
So go ahead and roll your damage, please. This with Chimera Rising, yes?
Yes.
Okay,
I'm
go for it.
attacking with my Chimera Rising. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13.
13. Okay.
right.
Oof.
He's a tank, but you're facing your own tank, the original tank, so I'm gonna extra attack and action surge on this round.
Okay.
So 15, 23.
23.
I'm assuming that hits.
23 does hit. Barely.
Remember,
Oh.
I'm kidding.
remember
Rock is
Jared,
pretty strong though, but so
Yeah.
remember Jared, he has your armor class.
Oh yeah, 18.
Yeah, true, yeah.
That's what I'm forgetting. Great weapon fighting to reroll the 1. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Ooh, describe to me your victory.
Oh.
How do you do that?
I don't even know.
How do you kill yourself? That's so weird, right?
I'm gonna bring my Chimera Rising down on the four toes missing foot, and I'm gonna crush the remaining of his toes.
Oh,
Aww.
that's insult to injury.
And I'm gonna make him drop to one knee when I do that, and then all he's gonna see is the lion's face ripping him apart. his face is gonna get destroyed.
Okay, so you do that in a very you add a little bit of flair to that, and he falls down to his knees as you hit him on the foot, and he starts getting ripped apart by your Chimera Rising, and there's no body that's left behind. He just kind of like dissipates and disappears. So well done, Barag, beating yourself. So next, is that going to be the end of your turn? Because you still have movement.
I have one thing left. That as the lion rips into pieces, you hear this.
Chimera Rising is very satisfied right now. Well done. You do have your extra attack as well as your action surge should you choose to take it. So.
And you can move.
Yeah, so
And you do have movement.
I still have actually the extra surge, yeah, because I used extra attack for the
Okay.
one. So
My suggestion is go for me next. My armor class is woefully low.
I'm gonna take movement towards Daedalus and action surge on Daedalus though.
Okay.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12,
This is
14.
Does this one have mage armor like me?
It has not cast it yet.
Okay, you hit it, and 11 is what? Without mage armor is 11.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, so
Excellent.
Oh, that
You're
works.
hitting it.
Yeah,
You're
it-
not rude.
It's bad.
Yeah. It never cast it.
That's why I told you go for me, because you'll be able to wreck me easily.
Mm.
And great weapon fighting to reroll the 1. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 damage.
Nice. So you take Chimera Rising and you swing it as hard as you can, and you just hear and you see like 3 of his ribs just collapse in on itself. Well done. Is that going to end your turn?
That is going to end my turn.
Okay. Next is going to be actually their turn. All right. So we are going to have.
So they're gonna make those wisdom throws, right?
Yes.
For that. I
Yeah.
gotta prepare to do.
What is the
14.
14?
I'll say.
Thank you, sir. Miss for Terra. So go ahead and roll damage for Terra.
11 and. Oh, really? Okay.
What is it? A D4? That you
it's a
that you're missing?
D8.
A D8 that
I
you're
got
missing?
another one right here.
Okay.
I was gonna say I'll put something in too.
17 total. I haven't turned
Okay. So go ahead and roll for the Barag. Oh no, Barag was killed. I'm sorry. The Daedalus.
So 11 on him.
Yeah, he rolled really bad on his save. So.
Okay.
Okay. Next, it's going to be for the Talvis. Let me go ahead and roll to see his save. What's your wisdom?
Spell save DC is 14.
But what's your wisdom modifier?
Oh, 3.
3. Yeah, missed. All right, so go ahead.
I forgot it was me.
Yeah.
I was rolling.
Yeah,
I was like, okay. 6, 8, 10.
10 total.
Yes.
Nice.
Well, I'll look for that dice later.
Nice. Okay, so your spirit guardians, these pixie type creatures, are spinning around the room, and they're taking little chunks of flesh from all the images that you see, and some of them are suffering some real damage. But it looks like the damage that they're suffering is necrotic damage.
Okay.
So because of their alignment. So well done. So now you get to. Do you want to use movement, or is that going to end your turn?
Well, that was their turn, right? Just taking
Right,
damage
right.
On my spell.
So yeah, do you want to do anything, or?
Can I do anything? Well, 'cause they started their turn, and their turn.
Oh yeah, you're right. I'm
concentration
sorry. Yes, you're right. Thank you for that. So yeah, Terra is going to attack Terra, and miss with the first attack, and rolled the same exact thing on the second attack.
Huzzah!
So you see your seaborn reflection of yourself has both daggers in each hand, and it quickly jabs with a left and a right, and completely misses you. You're able to kind of sidestep out of the way of the daggers as you have your daggers up, She has her daggers up, and you guys are kind of circling each other, looking at each other in the eyes.
I'm just kind of gonna look at her and just go.
Oh yeah, you were sweating it a few minutes ago, so. All right, so the Barag one is dead. Daedalus is going to do Eldritch Blast, and that's a miss. What's your spell attack modifier?
Spell attack modifier is
16. Okay, and what's your armor class with your mage armor? 14, right?
14.
Okay, that does hit. So that is 2d10, right? For your...
Yeah.
Okay, so you take 5 points of damage, Daedalus. So you see quickly the Daedalus image conjure up. Initially, it conjures up a boot with a spike at the end of it, and it misses you. And then the second conjuration is a dinosaur, and it shoots this dinosaur at you, and that dinosaur does hit for 5 points. And that is going to end Evil Daedalus's turn. Next we have Talvis. And Talvis is going to... Evil Talvis, right? Sorry. I know, it gets confusing with it. I rolled a 1.
Ooh.
Oh.
Alright, so yeah, let's see if this happens.
Oh, I love critical failure inside of me.
Okay, so you see this spectral halberd kind of appear in thin air, out of thin air, and kind of spin around very quickly and hit fake Daedalus. For what's your halberd do? Your spirit weapon?
Ooh, let's see. That will do 1d8 plus my spellcasting mod 6. 1d8 plus 6 force damage.
Woof. So it does 17 damage. So Daedalus, as you're kind of squaring off with evil Daedalus. Evil Daedalus with its kind of necrotic ridden face and its black pixies kind of swirling it. You're looking eye to eye with it. Then all of a sudden you see this dark energy halberd kind of like impale it right through the back and come completely out of its chest. And it looks at you for a second and just dissipates.
Oh.
Jeez.
Yes.
Your guys' Talvis has worse aim than ours.
That's a tall order. All right, so
Is that viciously mocked on the real Talvis?
Yeah, I
or
think
like,
so.
What is that?
Feeling attacked.
all right, so and that is going to end their turn now. Terra, you're up. Talvis, you're on deck.
He's the one right. No, he's that one right next.
So,
Yeah, he's gone. He dissipated.
You did dissipate. Yes.
so I'm going to attack the one in front of me.
Go for it.
I'm gonna help you with yours. I'm gonna try shooting.
Sounds good.
21.
Oof, definitely hits.
Ouch.
I'm just gonna roll for the second one too.
Go for it. This-
Second one missed.
This is on Sea Witch, Terra.
Yeah.
Okay. So
oh,
go.
hold on, was that? Oh, hold on. No, it still missed.
Okay, so go ahead and roll damage for the first attack.
Million dice.
1,000,000 dice.
Yes.
Oh, I forgot. No sneak attack. 2, 10, 13, 16.
Oof. Wow. All right, so your first attack hit, your second attack missed. Is that
Mm-hmm.
okay? So you sink deep with your frostbrand dagger, right across the neck. You see black ichor kind of ooze out of its neck. Not regular blood like you have, but like a black sort of ichor just kind of stream down its chest as it looks at you. And for the first time, you think you may see fear in its eyes. Good turn. Talvis, you're up. Daedalus, you're on deck.
Okay, so I'm going to cast Inflict Wounds on my evil self.
Sure.
And that will be melee spell. Ooh.
Ew.
That's no bueno. I forgot how high my armor class was. So that's not gonna work.
Okay.
So that's gonna be because that's gonna be like 9.
Okay.
So.
So you cast a spell and to no effect. You missed your melee attack. Don't forget you still use that slot though.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Just looking at distance here. I will not do anything else.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Daedalus, you're up.
So, I was thinking of shooting the evil tablets. Maybe I should viciously mock him to try and aim.
Maybe viciously mock the real Terra.
I think you viciously mocked Sean, Talvis, and Evil Talus all in one stroke. Barag, you're on deck, by the way.
Alright, so I still think I'm going to viciously mock him so I can...
Go for it. Go for it.
Hopefully,
Now, I know this is Evil Talvis, but I still want to hear a vicious mock.
This might be a slight knock against the real one.
Oh, I want to hear it. I want to hear it.
No. You'd be like, oi. It's like, is Talos scraping the bottom of the barrel?
Ooh. That hurts.
I'm gonna turn to him and be like, I'll remember that.
Nice. All right, so I got to make a wisdom save against that. What's your spell save DC?
16. Good luck.
I know. You've got a +3 on your modifier, right? Talvis?
Oh, sorry. On
Plus
my
3?
wisdom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You hit him by 1. You just managed to get him.
Ooh.
All right, so you see the vicious, or rather the evil Talvis kind of look at you for a second and get kind of really frustrated, and then you see like a little vein pop in his head as that psychic damage starts to kick in. Go ahead and roll your psychic damage, sir.
That's
1? 1 is 1, dude.
one. Yeah.
All right, so we'll take that 1.
I did it, not for the damage, but for the utility of it.
Yeah, no, sure.
Now he has gonna have disadvantage, so if he tries to hit you, he could fail.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well done. All right, so is that going to end your turn, Daedalus?
Yeah, that's gonna end my turn.
Okay, Brog, you're up.
Alright, yeah, I'm gonna take movement and I'm gonna attack evil Terra High Hill.
Okay.
You are
17.
That hits.
Without modifier.
Right, that hits. So go ahead and roll your damage.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15.
Okay. So you raise your Chimera Rising, and how do you want to destroy Terra High Hill?
Oh, yes! I get to destroy evil Terra High Hill. Oh. Okay. So, I'm going to first step towards her and then just kick her feet out from under her, and then just as I bring back Chimera Rising, I'm just gonna hit evil Terra High Hill's head right off and just see it go flying across.
Okay, and you do, and you hit her so hard that her head actually explodes against the wall of the room. So well done. And then her form starts to just kind of dissipate and disappear. You still have movement and you still have extra attack. That was your first attack.
Yeah, so. Well, she's gone.
Yeah.
I can move
You can
around,
move, yeah.
actually.
Absolutely.
So-
And you can move through friendly spaces. You just can't end in friendly spaces.
Oh, okay, so.
So you can go 5, 10, 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just right there,
Mhm.
and extra attack on our friend over here.
Evil Talus.
Evil Talvis is
Talvis.
gonna go too.
He's about to catch a beat down. Go for it.
14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
That hits. I roll damage.
And I'm gonna great weapon fighting. The reroll is 2, 5, so 10.
10? Okay. So you reach back with Chimera Rising, and you hear the thigh bone crack as it falls down to one knee. Well done.
Oh.
All right. Next, it's actually going to be his turn. He is going to cast.
You're gonna make that saving throw first. That's still going, right?
For what?
Like your pixies are still flying.
Oh yeah, the
Oh yes,
Spirit
he does.
Guardians.
Yeah, Spirit Guardians. Thank you. He misses, so go ahead and roll damage.
3, 10, 15.
15. Ooh. So the small pixies are kind of swarming him now in almost like a frenzy, and every spot that they hit, you just see this bubble of necrotic flesh just pop up and kind of explode all over his body. So now it's his turn, and he is going to do. You know what? For the hell of it, I'm going to say he is going to use his action to leave. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Did he like disappear? Just like
No,
into
he's running further into the tome.
Oh.
So he can take one action. He can take his action to.
Do I get an attack of opportunity?
No, you don't.
You disengaged.
You,
right?
yeah, he disengaged. So.
That means you can just run right past.
So yeah, he's running right past you guys.
And he disappears into the.
He's at a full dash.
Okay.
So do you guys chase him?
I say we regroup. That's the
Yeah.
last thing we need is to
Yeah.
make more stupid movements.
You
to
might be
go out.
leading us into like a
Let's
trap.
group up, people. We gotta
of some
venture
sort.
further into the tomb.
Maybe heal up certain wounds.
How far
As such.
away is he at this point?
He ran down the hallway.
So he's like.
So it's
like,
he's double your movement speed. You have a movement
60.
speed of 30, so he's 60 spaces away.
Would it be possible to take a crossbow shot at him?
No, you can't take any attack of opportunities. That's what disengage does.
Yeah. So he's gone. He's out of range. You can't.
Unless
hit him,
you choose to dash after him.
which I think would be kind of dumb. So you could run like through a
I'm
million traps.
Gonna dash after him.
Awesome.
Oh
Yeah.
my.
Goodbye, Talvis. It was nice.
All
meeting
right,
you.
so all right, so go ahead and remove that paper off the mat, please. Okay. So
Aw.
you run into this kind of large room. What is going on here? What are you guys doing?
Just put it down there.
Oh, okay. All right.
Passing notes in class.
I know. And as you dash, I need you to make a perception roll, please.
18 modified.
Okay. As you run, you do notice that there is a magic glyph in the center of the room.
Okay. Has he passed beyond it
He's passed beyond it. Yes.
and didn't seem to react to his presence?
You're assuming. It could have. You don't know.
Not in any obvious sense.
His body's not laying next to the glyph, although it wouldn't be because he would just dissipate if he died.
Okay. Can I attempt to? So I see it coming up on me.
Mm-hmm.
Can I attempt to leap over it?
Sure.
Okay. I will attempt to take a big old jump over the glyph,
Okay.
and that's.
It's just an athletics.
Okay. I'm intent. I'm tunnel visioned on this guy, just chasing after him. So,
I should tell you, as you entered the room, even though you're at a dash, it's somewhat obvious that you do see. It looks like there's some sort of skeletonized beast within this room.
okay.
You're almost. It's almost like you're running through its rib cage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's how big it is.
So athletics.
Athletics, yes.
Okay. I will spend an inspiration.
Would you roll?
5.
Okay.
So
How many more inspirations do you have?
1 after this.
One after? Okay.
9 modified.
Okay. So as you're running, you kind of mistime the jump, and your foot does trip the glyph, and you just see this blue energy explode from the glyph, and now you start seeing bones start to kind of move and shift, and then you see the whole rib cage, and now you see kind of like this large skeletal tail forming, and you see like this wing come up, and another wing come up, and you see a large skeletalized dragon in the room, and it's kind of blocking your way, and it's looking at you. You're pretty much face to face with this large Dragolich.
I'm going to stand still, but turn my head, and would they be able to hear me from that distance if I shouted?
I don't know.
Oh, I'm going to use my Thaumaturgy cantrip.
Yeah.
And to make my voice louder.
Yes, you can do that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And just turn my head while keeping my body still and say, "You guys, you may want to get in here."
So as soon as you hear that, you hear roll initiative.
So I,
And I'm just like, what a dumbass.
And I'm just like, nope,
we
nope,
warned
nope,
him.
nope, nope,
Roll
nope.
initiative. Roll initiative, guys.
Ah, 1. Did I roll that? That was lame.
What did you roll?
A 1.
Well, no, you can't re-roll that just because you rolled a 1.
What's that say?
My attack missed. Can I make a new attack?
18.
Can I use inspiration
Alright, hold on.
to reroll?
No, not on inspiration. Not on not in initiative. Yeah.
7.
7. Okay.
I'm at a whopping 1 though.
Okay.
You're
All right,
right.
everybody, hold up, hold
Told
up,
you not
hold
to run
up.
after him. You didn't tell me.
No one said anything. He just ran.
For your edification,
We didn't say
he rolled a 1 as well on initiative.
Ooh.
All right, so let's start from the top. 20 to 25.
So am I still going to before him?
I'll get there. 20 to 25. No. 15 to 20. Is that you, Tara?
Yeah, 18.
Okay. So Tara. 10 to 15. 5 to 10.
8.
Okay.
Oh wait, 8.
Okay. Who has a higher dexterity? What's your dexterity?
This could be him, probably. I got 10.
Okay. All right. So next, Barag. Next, we've got Talvis. And so, what is your dexterity, Daedalus?
13.
13. His dexterity is. His dexterity is 10. So you actually go before him.
Ha! You're going last, you dumb pile of bones.
Again, just mockery.
And
Not even using it.
What's his distance from me at this point?
he's right in front of you. You guys are kind of.
Melee?
Yeah.
Do we have anything for him? Like a kind of like an indication,
Anything for him? What? What do you
like
mean?
a marker,
Like a visual.
like a visual.
Oh,
You heard it. You heard it. Not yell, not scream, but you heard. You heard it roar.
You mean like a mini for him? Like
Yeah.
A physical-
A minifigure. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, just so then we know.
Oh.
So just put it right in the middle there, right, and put Talvis like, yeah. Actually, move it back. Move him and Talvis back.
So he's at,
Perfect.
He's
All right.
at the other end of the bridge. And we're at the one end.
All right. Perfect. Yeah.
Right?
this is exactly what I'm thinking at this point.
Yeah, mine's Moria, the Balrog fight.
Yeah.
Hmm?
All right. So Tara,
Ah.
what do you do? You hear this. You hear this deafening roar, and you see like almost dust, kind of like fall from the ceiling when this roar explodes from wherever Talvis went to. What do you do?
I'm just gonna stay back there and then just pour the oil sharpness.
Oil sharpness. Okay.
And just shake my head and be like, now I gotta bail another one of these stupid idiots out.
Okay, so you use your oil of sharpness on this action. Do you want to take any movement?
Nope.
No movement? Okay. All right. So next up is going to be Barag. Barag.
So I'm gonna take my movement,
Right.
and I hear the roar. And
You do.
direction it came
Well,
from,
you
right?
heard Talvis first in his loud booming voice that was almost superhuman, and then right after you heard a roar coming from the same direction.
So I'm gonna take movement in that direction to where I heard everything.
Okay, so as soon as you kind of enter from the hallway into that main chamber, you see a large skeletonized dragon. You see kind of like this dry, rotted, blue flesh, scaly flesh, just hanging on some of its bones. You see kind of electricity crackle around its head. You see large leathery wings with a lot of different holes in the wings. So yeah, and you see it's towering over. I mean, you've fought giants before, but this is bigger than a giant.
Oh.
I was gonna ask, the room that we're in with him is
Yes.
how tall would you say that room is from where we're standing to the ceiling? Like,
It's a large main chamber.
would it be like as tall as 100 feet.
I would say yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have another question. Is that just a bridge we're standing on, or is it like an entire room?
It's a room. That's almost like an elevated walkway in a large chamber. Yeah.
Nice. All I'm gonna say is I enter the room and I march up and stand right next to Talvis and I keep Chimera Rising, and all I say is, finally, something worthy of Chimera Rising.
Go for it. What do you do?
I'm gonna take an attack on him. 19.
19.
Without any modifications.
Well, we don't know if that's gonna hit.
Well, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 27.
27. Okay, that does hit for sure. Why don't you go ahead and give me some of that damage?
Great weapon fighting to reroll the 1. Make another 1. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 damage.
13.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna retire that die because that's killing me. And I'm gonna take extra attack on him.
Okay.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
11.
11. Yeah.
Okay. That's to damage.
Well, that's for my second attack. I didn't roll it yet. So that's 11 to attack.
Okay. No, that misses.
Misses?
Yeah.
Okay.
And is that gonna end your turn?
Yes. Yeah, there's nothing else I can do.
Okay.
Yeah, that one.
So on your first attack, you reach back with Chimera Rising and you hit it right in its front leg, and it's almost it's so hard, that hit, that it almost vibrates through your hands. It's almost like hitting a stone column, is what it feels like. There's no give at all when Chimera Rising hits that skeletalized front foot or front leg. So that is going to end your turn. Talvis, it's your turn.
Okay, I'm going to cast Call Lightning
Okay.
at 3rd level. So that's going to be a large storm cloud that will appear 100 feet
Okay.
in the air above the dragon.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to focus its damage.
And what type of damage is it?
It will be lightning damage.
Okay.
And I will choose to focus it just, I will say, 120 foot range. Say
Behind it?
Behind it.
Gotcha.
And it's got a 5 foot.
Gotcha.
Reach. And will cause the dragon to make a dexterity throw and he will take 3d10 lightning on a fail, half as much on a successful, and then on each of my turns at the beginning we will repeat that.
Okay.
And it's concentration.
Gotcha.
And I will do that, and then as my bonus action, I will cast Spiritual Weapon,
Gotcha.
and will make that. I believe it's a melee.
It is.
Okay, so I will make that first attack with Spiritual Weapon.
Go for it.
So 11. That was almost a 19. It just,
So what's the total?
well, it's an 11 attack roll.
Oh, 11 total?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Unfortunately, that does miss. You conjure up your spiritual weapon and it spins and hits right next to it. But it doesn't do any damage at all. So is that gonna end your turn?
That will end my turn.
And I have to make a wisdom save, right? Is that what you said?
A wisdom save for the call, or no, dexterity save.
Dexterity
for
save.
call lightning.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as you summon your spiritual weapon, you also summon the storm clouds that you call forth, and you see crackles of lightning in the air. And do you hit it with? That's the next round. You hit it with the
So
lightning.
it does. So it will. The storm cloud will make an attack on like the first cast. So yeah,
On
I'll
the
roll
first
for
cast.
that now.
Gotcha.
And then at the beginning of each subsequent turn,
Okay.
so he'll roll that dexterity save now.
As long as your concentration.
Right.
I gotcha. All right. So go ahead and roll your spell attack with the lightning.
Okay, so let's see. 5, 6, and 16.
Okay, so you call forth from the storm mighty lightning bolts that pierce, and the sound of it echoes through the whole chamber, and it hits the Drago, skeletonized Dragolich, but it doesn't seem to have any effect. You can see the electricity kind of course through it, and it just kind of looks at you and. Is that gonna end your turn?
That will end my turn, yeah.
Okay. Daedalus, you're up.
Okay, well, see, I'm currently outside. You're gonna take.
Is that still affecting?
No, it's
No.
gone.
So, am I out of range here, or am I? In,
No, you're in range for spell attack.
No, not melee, like his range.
You are out of his melee range. Yeah.
Okay, I assume he had range damage or something.
I cannot tell you that, sir.
Yeah, I think he is.
Okay.
But I'll still stay out of his melee range for now, and I'll take a couple of other blast shots at him.
Go for it.
So if this hits him. 17 plus. I don't add anything. Do I add the 6 to that?
You add your spell attack modifier.
Yeah, it's 18, 19.
So
20.
23, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that hits. Roll your second attack.
Come on. 19.
That does hit as well. All right, 2 hits. What do they look like when you conjure forth the energy?
It's gonna be a couple of like baseball bats.
2 baseball bats. Okay.
They crack bones.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely they do. So go and roll damage.
I think it's this
It's 2d10, right?
one. Yeah.
Okay.
Per.
Yeah.
So that's I think that's a 6. 6, yeah. So that's a 6. And then 8.
8.
And
Okay.
that's for the first one, right?
Yes.
So now it's another 6. And a 1.
Okay. Good job. All right. Next, it's going to be his turn, actually, and we are going to. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh no.
First, I am. Barag. Since you did hit it, I need you to make a wisdom save throw, please.
16.
Okay, so as you look at this mighty beast, this creature from some sort of hell, some sort of nightmarish creature, you dash the other way as fast as you can. That effect lasts for 1 minute.
So I just run.
You run.
Back
So
into
for
the
10
room.
rounds, you're leaving. Yes. What's your movement speed?
25.
25? So 50. So count 50.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. So
40.
40, 45, 50.
Okay. Well, there's no door there, so it's just
Yeah.
going to be out into that hallway. Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah, got there.
All right. So that's going to be round 1. So keep track of that. So you've got 10 rounds.
1 round is gone.
1 round is gone.
So I have 9 left. So.
Yeah. So the next round, you do get to make another attempt at save,
Oh, okay.
at a wisdom save.
Try
So.
to get
Mhm,
out
yep,
of it and
yep.
get back in.
And I need Talvis also to make a save, a wisdom save. What'd you roll?
It's gonna be 10.
10.
Or no, I'm sorry, 7.
7. Okay. So much like Barag, you see this beast before you, and you want to leave as quickly as possible. And you
so
dash.
And I am leaving.
You are leaving.
It's not just the desire.
Yeah, no, you leave. So you are going to do. You got 60, 100, and no, you've got 30 movement speed times 2 because you're dashing.
Mhm.
So 60 total.
And as I blow past Daedalus, and she's like, never mind, it's too big. And keep going.
That's exactly what you say. All right. Now Daedalus,
60. You're all-
I need you to make a wisdom save.
We're all just running. Say it.
What is it?
It's a 7.
All right, Daedalus, you too.
What's your movement speed, Daedalus?
30.
Okay, so 60.
So he's
Right. He's right behind Talvis. Oh no, he's ahead of
gonna
Talvis.
be out here.
Yeah, yeah.
because he was closer to the So
Miss
he's all the way out here.
Terra. Hi-ho.
I'm still in the room.
Yeah, so that is actually going to end its turn.
Oh my
God. Next, it's actually your turn in the initiative order.
And all 3 of these chickens ran.
You
right?
see them all take off, and you're left by you're left by yourself,
Have fun.
and you're left in the mirror room by yourself. And you see this beast off in the distance. You kind of see it moving in the shadows, but you haven't really got a good look at it yet.
Is it an animal? Is it
You
like
can't tell.
considered? Well, no. Is like, oh, dang it, man.
So what do you do?
To know if it was an animal or not, because I may have an idea, but I don't know if it'll work.
So I need to know what you do.
I'm gonna go to where Barag is.
Okay, so you follow Barag out of the room?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not going after that alone. Are you crazy?
Alright, so yeah, you dash.
Um.
And as you leave the mirror room, you hear it roar, kind of victoriously.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's definitely not an animal. Okay.
It's a roar. I mean,
Yeah.
I can't do a dragon roar, but
Yeah.
all right. So next in the order, and that's gonna be the end of your turn.
I'm gonna actually turn to Barag and be like, Barag, where's that flask? That animal flask.
Barag doesn't give a shit about that right now.
I'm scared shitless.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Give me the flask.
You just want to get out of there. So.
Does he give me?
No, he's
Oh my
fearful
God.
for his life.
He's not gonna
Yeah,
do
he's not
anything.
gonna
Can
do
I try
that.
and steal it?
You can try, sure.
Okay. Yay.
by the
Try
way,
that.
don't it's,
Do you
it's
sleight of hand?
very deep into
Yes.
my knapsack. So
Okay,
By the way, it'll be really
no,
hard
I
to get
did
it.
that when I put it in there. I
Okay.
said I put it far down.
You don't have to yell at me, dude.
He's yelling.
You.
Good.
Don't
That's
worry.
very
And I've got
deep
a.
in there.
And guess
'cause
what?
I
I've got a
made sure.
proficiency.
Listen,
Well, you're
okay.
gonna have
I
to
want to
find
make
it.
it hard on you, so it's really deep.
There's many
Alright,
other
so go ahead.
flasks in there.
Roll sleight of hand.
Oh yeah.
Go for it. What'd you roll?
18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23,
No
24,
problem.
25,
No
26,
problem.
27, 28, 29.
All right. Yeah. So she grabs the flask as you run by. Absolutely. That's gonna be your action now.
Yes, and I'm gonna just grin with victory.
All right. Now mark off a round for your oil of sharpness.
Yes.
All right. So top of the order, we have actually that was Terra at the top of the order. Next we have Barag. So go ahead and do a wisdom save.
3.
Okay. You're still so go ahead and use your movement and dash.
I have to dash another
Yeah.
50.
Yes, sir.
I can't go any further.
You're going out of the temple.
Oh!
You just show back up to that archaeologist and be like, you know what? Never mind.
I don't want. I'm sorry, but no, that dang dragon is too big in there.
Like an hour later,
Drago
you
lives
just see
up in there.
all 4 of us just
Run out.
dashing.
Yeah.
So I'm
That,
outside
that would be accurate though.
Yeah.
All right, Talvis, go ahead and make a wisdom save.
So I'm outside essentially.
Oh, goodness gracious. 9.
You too.
Yeah.
And he's joining me outside.
He's running you outside, so you dash out of the temple.
There's a dice jail.
You just see like a little crowd kind of at the mouth of the temple as you come flying out right after Barag. You see Barag ahead of you. You just hear his armor clanking as he's running as fast as he can, and you're running right behind him. You guys are just leaving these red puffs of dust in the red sands. Okay, so that's gonna end your turn. Daedalus, you're up.
Next, I'm outside too.
You're outside too.
Oh my
All right,
God.
Daedalus. So so Barag dashes out. Talvis follows him just like not 2 seconds later, and then 2 seconds after that comes Daedalus flying out of the temple as fast as he can, sweat on his brow. So next it's going to be the Dragolich, which he's fine right where he is. Back to the top of the order. Terra Hi-Ho.
Gonna be ballsy here.
Rounds-
Might as well go out in the blaze of glory.
Yeah,
we're
we're
not in there, so we can't say anything.
Yeah.
So that is up to her. She
So
is by
I'm gonna
herself.
just see them kind of leave, and I'm like, I have the flask. I'm just gonna take out a doubloon that I got from my early pirate days and just place it on the floor and walk back into the room.
Okay.
As I get to the other side, I'm gonna drink the animal potion.
Sure. And it's almost tastes like what you would think skunk stink tastes like.
Mhm.
It's that pungent. But you managed to chug it all down without barfing. What do you do?
Jesus, I'm probably gonna regret it, but I'm going to walk just in front of the Dragolich.
Okay.
And for this potion, what exactly does it do? It just makes it.
It's basically the spell of animal friendship. Animal
Okay.
friendship. So
And
you
then-
try to
Yeah.
invoke the animal friendship
Yeah.
spell through your potion.
Mhm.
Okay. So what do you say to it?
And I'm just gonna like put my hand up. My weapons are put away, and I'm just gonna put my hand up and be like, "Did those lads hurt you, my dear?"
Okay. We'll get back to you. Barag, wisdom save.
Natural 20.
So you're running and then you just stop and you're like, Terra's still in there. So you manage to kind of come to your senses. You do see behind you is Talvis and behind him is Daedalus, both running at full speed, and you see just like a crowd of very curious onlookers as you guys are running out of the temple. So yeah, what do you do?
I'm gonna turn right back around as I see these two running out, and I'm gonna run right back in.
Okay, so you're taking a dash movement back in?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Okay.
take dash movement back in.
Gotcha.
Well, you were outside.
You were outside, so
that's-
yeah.
Dash inside and wait right there. Okay. So
Alright.
I'm back inside.
Very good. And now you are immune to its fearful presence for 24 hours.
Good.
So, Talvis,
Stop that, motherfucker.
12.
plus your...
That's including 12.
Okay, you're still running. You saw Barag stop and run back in, and you're like, screw that, I'm leaving.
It's like, what is he doing?
Yeah. All right, so Daedalus.
Oh, I'm out. I rolled a 19.
19.
Yeah.
Okay, that does break the spell. So you see Barag run back to the temple. Talvis he just takes off, but you stop. You manage to break the spell's effect, and you remember your friend is still in there.
Yeah, I run back in after Barag and stand right next to him.
Damn, you're tough. All right, so well done, Daedalus. Now it's the Drago Lich. So he looks at you, and he just says, "Death," and he makes an attack.
Yeah, that's a good.
It was worth a shot.
Yeah.
Well,
Now
it
we're
was
not gonna
really
have a
shot.
pet because of you.
Remember,
23 to hit.
Yes.
That does hit, and he gets multi-attack.
not an animal.
So
This thing is probably considered undead.
Probably, but it was worth a shot.
that's a hit.
We're still gonna have
17. Does that hit?
My armor is 17.
17. So 3 hits. Terra, hold on.
I think we.
So the first hit is going to be
running away and probably shoot his pants by now.
10.
Well, I'm not going to tell you
No,
whether he has.
You probably have.
Can we make a roll on that?
Nah, we're not.
So
He's running
20
away.
points of bite damage, piercing.
I have my uncanny dodge.
Okay, so 10. Plus an additional 6 points of lightning damage, so that would be 3.
Mhm.
So the second attack is going to be 2d6. 15 slashing damage with a claw. And the third, same.
15 and 15?
Yeah. Okay, slashing damage with a claw.
I'm still alive.
What are you at?
By some miracle, I am still
What
alive.
are you at?
Yeah, tell it.
Oh, well,
Mm,
technically we can't now.
Are you looking pretty rough?
I'm looking pretty rough, guys.
Alright, okay. So Terra Highhill is hanging tough with the Drago Lich one-on-one. Alright. Next, it's actually your turn.
I'm gonna drink my superior potion.
Okay, that's a bonus action, so go ahead and do that. Superior Healing Potion is 1d4 plus 8 heal damage. I'm sorry, 8d4 plus 8.
Are you attacking?
No, she's taking a healing potion.
Oh.
She's looking rough. Okay.
Alright.
So that was your bonus action, so you can take your action and you can take your movement too.
I'm gonna use my steel marbles.
Okay.
And
And tell me, what do your steel marbles do?
so the steel marbles, when you speak the command word, they orbit around you, and they maneuver themselves in the path of a first attack, and absorb all damage.
Nice. Alright, so you speak your command word. What is your command word?
I'm just gonna say fly.
Fly.
Yeah, because they fly up around you
Okay.
and they hover. So.
Okay. So they pop out of the box and they kind of orbit, around you, almost like a satellite with a planet. And two of them kind of are spinning. All right. And second end of your turn.
I'm going. Yeah, I'm gonna end my turn there.
Okay.
I don't want to
Sure. Understandable. Barag, you're up. Talvis, you're on deck.
Okay, I'm gonna dash.
Okay.
Get up there.
So go ahead and take your movement. And that's going to end your turn. Talvis, go ahead and make a wisdom save.
Come on, dude. Oh my god.
11.
So you're like outside of the main camp, like when you first come in, and you're headed for the mountain that you
Oh
You guys-
my god!
I told you I might turn around
Exactly
and
what
walk
he
away.
said he was gonna do. He was like, I'm gonna turn around and go back up the mountain.
Yeah.
And you told him to do it.
Suddenly Zion Zane doesn't seem too bad. Alright, so Talvis, you keep running. You see that mountain range, the mountain range that you guys climb down, and you're like, I can make it. Alright, so next it's going to be Daedalus, you're up.
Okay, I'm gonna do the same.
Now remember, it's 10 rounds total.
Okay, so that's
3
3.
rounds, so you got 7 more
I'm
rounds.
gonna do the same and dash as far as I can.
Gotcha.
And I move 60, right?
Yes.
So I'm back in the room.
Yes, you can see him from where you are.
Okay, so yay, and that's it, right?
You can make an attack. Oh no, you took a dash, right?
Yeah. I took
I'm
a
sorry,
dash.
yes,
I
that's
went
it.
all the way in there.
Gotcha.
If I could see him, I'm gonna stay in my room. That's actually a really good idea.
Okay. Now it is going to.
Like I'm not at that.
Now it's going to take a wing attack. It's going to use a legendary action. You see these tattered wings start to flap, and I need you to make a dexterity saving throw, please. And you would be Terra Hill.
26.
Woo!
Oh.
You needed a 21.
You're like,
Nice.
You're standing your ground.
Wait, so you're gonna only take half damage on this. So you take 3 points of bludgeoning damage, and you are not knocked prone as you see the Dragolich kind of pick up from the ground and is kind of in the air now, beating his wings. That's gonna end his turn though. Terra, it's actually your turn.
Okay. Man, did I have potions in that work? So bummed about that. Alright. I'm going to
Go ahead.
I'm going to attack with my dual wield. And I have just so everybody
I
is
will
aware.
say it's probably a little too high off the ground.
Oh, it's up in the air.
Yeah.
Okay.
You could make a jump to it.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Okay. You're gonna grab onto it? You're gonna climb it, or what are you
I'm
doing?
going to grab onto it and climb it.
Okay. Ballsy move. Go for it.
And would that be acrobatics or athletics?
We will say it's in athletics. Yeah.
Sweet.
Go for it.
Halfling luck.
Ah,
Oh, one.
nice.
Dang.
Mm-hmm. 23.
So Terra Hill takes a running jump. You reach up. You're in the air. You grab onto its foot, and you have your arms right around its leg, as you're kind of, dangling from its front foot, about 20 feet in the air.
Sweet.
So you can take your remaining movement to do whatever it is that you want.
Yeah, I'm gonna get onto the climb onto the back of
Alright.
the dragon.
So Terra, you take clumps of rotting flesh and little cuts in the bone as handholds, and you start scaling the dragon, and you are on its back. So go ahead and make your attack rolls.
Okay. You can just picture this little halfling. Like I don't know how it happened, but it did.
Yeah, this is like Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah.
22.
That's a hit. What? 22?
22.
That's a hit.
Okay, and then I'm gonna roll for the second one
Go ahead.
to see if it hits.
Go ahead.
23.
That's a hit. So go ahead and roll your damage.
With the million dice. Dang it. Okay. We're dropping dice today.
Making it rain with dice. Go for it.
Oh, and then also, just so everybody knows, I have, with the Oil of Sharpness, it does add 3 attack and 3 damage for
Nice.
10 rounds, and I am only on round 9, so it will add 3 to this roll.
Go
and
for
the
it.
Next one. 11, 15, 23.
23?
Yes.
Nice.
Hey.
That's for your first hit, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That's with the Frostbrand dagger, the one that had the Oil of Sharpness.
Okay, so you see the your Frostbrand dagger goes deep. You hit bone even. It goes deep into the rotted flesh. You hit bone, and you take a chunk of bone right from the spine of the Dragolich. So do damage for the roll damage for the second attack. Now you don't get sneak attack damage. You know that, right?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Okay.
4, 10, 12, 13.
13. All right. Nice. All right. So your second dagger, you grab it, you kind of like flick it in your hand, and you stick it in deep, and you find purchase, and it's kind of like trying to turn its head back, but you're like right behind it. It can't get a really good angle on you. Well done, Terra. Barag, you're up.
You know what to do. Move right next to her, if you can.
I was gonna say, if I can.
Well, remember, he's still flying.
Yeah, he's actually in the air. So
He's in the air.
she's- yeah.
I'm on.
Yeah.
There.
So go ahead and do your movement.
Show it on the back. Okay, 5, 10, 15.
20, 25. You can take your dash movement if you want.
Yeah, I might as well, since he's in the air. So 30, 35, 40.
You know, you could take an action surge.
I already used my action surge.
Okay, alright,
I
gotcha.
already expelled that one. I destroyed my...
With the
my
mirror
evil
image,
self.
right? Yeah,
Yeah,
gotcha,
I destroyed my evil self with my action surge.
Alright, awesome. Good to know. Alright,
So,
Barag.
Good.
Is that gonna end your turn?
Second wind is an action, not a bonus action, right?
Second
Yeah,
wind is an
an
action.
Yeah. No, so I'm done then. I
Okay.
don't need anything.
Okay. That is a good turn, Talvis.
I'm gonna face
Go.
Come on,
Hey.
Talvis!
What did you-
ATO,
Christ.
7 days.
That mountain is looking pretty good to you. It's looking pretty awesome.
Oh my
Right, so
god.
that
Like you're like, you know what? Screw those guys.
I am we're all separated. It's like-
I'm alive. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm
I
alive.
don't know what they're doing.
All right. So is that gonna? Obviously, that's gonna end your turn.
Bye.
well,
Talvis.
We'll
roll again for wisdom saving throw.
All right. So next, it's going to be. Daedalus. Yeah, your turn.
Okay, so
It's an actual second one is a bonus action.
Oh, second one is bonus. Oh.
Yeah, it's a bonus action. It's a 1d10 plus your fighter level of health.
Can I roll for that real quick?
Yeah, go for
Because
it.
I was gonna use that. Okay. Good to know. A 15.
Nice.
Healthy
So you
level.
gain 15 hit points. So.
Yes.
Unless you took necrotic damage, which you didn't.
No.
No. Okay. Yeah, 15.
Didn't take any
Yep.
necrotic damage.
You're good.
I'm maxed out on health again.
Wow, look at you.
Boom.
Aren't we special?
Love being a tank.
All right. So Daedalus, you're up.
I'm gonna just Eldritch Blast it.
Go for it.
So if I hit it. No, that's a 1.
Oh, that's a miss. All right. So go ahead and roll again.
And roll for the second one. That says 13 plus 6.
You-
14, 15, 16, 17,
You just hit it.
19.
19. You
So
just hit it with the second one.
Okay, so the first one misses. And I'm not even going to say anything or what that is because it misses. It's a sign that says haha.
Oh.
There it is. It's sign that says,
Oh, I'm sorry.
so yeah, that's all happened. It's a sign that says haha, it's making fun of me because I missed it.
All right. So I don't think we could do skywriting with that, but you hurt its feelings. So go ahead. What's the second one?
No, it's like it hurt my feelings.
Your feelings.
Like
Okay.
It's like my eldritch energy, just like it made a haha sign to me.
Nah.
It formed in the sign that says haha. So it's criticizing you for missing.
Go for it. What's this? So the second one, roll damage.
10. And that's it, right? This time.
I think it's 1d10 or 2d10.
Oh, 2d10, so that's one of them. So that's
Okay.
10 and 5, so that's 15. And that one's gonna take in a form of a jackhammer. It's just gonna go on top of his head and go right into his head.
All right. Sweet. All right. And is that gonna end your turn? You got movement if you want it.
No, I think I'm good where
You're-
I am. If I can still hit it, then I'm good. If I can be far away from it, I can hurt it, but it can't hurt me.
Smart. Okay, so it is going to take aim at you, Daedalus. Since you just hit it with Eldritch Blast, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
17.
Okay, unfortunately that does not quite make it. So let me roll damage. So, you see this ball of lightning kind of start to form at its right where its mouth is, and it just sprays an arc of lightning, a lightning beam, that just completely engulfs you for 90 points of lightning damage.
Really? I'm down.
You are down. What is your max health? If it doubles your max health,
It was 53 is my max.
oh man, you are so lucky. If it doubles your max health, then you're instantly dead.
Whoa.
So you came close, and I rolled some really good damage. Like I kept rolling 9s, 8s, and 7s. I was like, ooh, man, this is gonna be rough. So you are down. You get 3 saving throws. Had it been double your health, you would have just been dead. Yeah. So you see,
There would be no Hartwell the Magnificent.
there would be, yeah. Like everybody in the material plane would be like, "Where were you when you heard Hartwell the Magnificent died?" I remember what I was doing. I was eating a sandwich, and we all cried.
Finish the sandwich.
Yeah. It was
But I
a
was
pretty good
crying.
sandwich.
Yeah, that was a good.
But I
little
was
sandwich.
So you see Daedalus get just engulfed by lightning and just fall down face first. His hair, his skin is blackened, and he falls. Next, it's going to be Terra. You're up.
Okay. Yes. I'm gonna attack again.
Go for it.
Eight. And that would be 16.
16 unfortunately misses. So you get a second attack, so go ahead and roll your second.
27.
That does hit. So go ahead and roll damage.
And then this is with my enchanted dagger, because my first dagger was
Yeah.
my frostburn.
Yeah.
I'm being honest this time.
Sure.
Ooh, nice. 10, 18, 22.
22. Okay, that is a lot of damage. Okay, so your second attack sinks deep, and you do a decent amount of damage to it. Again, you take a bit of rotted flesh from the bone, and he does seem to notice. He's trying to crane his head in your direction, a head that is 3 times your size. Next, it's going to be Barag. Talvis, you're on deck.
So he's down.
Yeah.
Talvis is still running amok outside.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna turn around and take movement back to Daedalus.
Mm-hmm. No, he was in the air, so he wasn't in direct melee. He doesn't get an attack of opportunity on you because he was in the air. So you guys weren't.
Good.
Yeah.
Sweet, because I wasn't anywhere near.
Right.
Okay, that works. And I'm gonna give him one of my greater potions.
Okay. So go ahead and roll the. It's 44 for greater.
So it's a 4,
Go for it.
a 2, a 3, and a 1.
10.
So 14 total, because it's 44 plus 4.
Yeah, so 14.
So 14 health points. So you see Barag, when you first open your eyes, you see kind of Barag kind of taking away a flask from your lips, and you could feel the arcane liquid take effect, and some of your burns start to heal and scar over. So is that going to end your turn, Barag?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's gonna end my turn for that. There's just I can do from here.
Okay. Talvis, you get to make a wisdom save.
18.
18.
Finally!
We didn't say finally. I wouldn't say finally.
Yes,
definitely.
you do make it.
Finally, dang!
So, as you're running through the desert, past the encampment, toward the mountains, you're like, oh my god, you stop in one spot and you remember that all your friends are back there. So yeah.
I'm just gonna put my hands on my legs and kind of just heave a couple times, just, and then just take off dashing back the opposite way.
Yeah. Alright. So you take off. So it'll be 3 rounds and you'll be back.
Okay.
So next it's going to be Daedalus.
Okay, so I'm back in the realm of the living.
You are in the realm of the living for now.
You're welcome.
And if I move here, he won't be able to hit me. Right?
You don't know?
Well, it looks like it's out of his range. Because he's looking straight down this way.
Sure.
So I'm going to move. No, actually, I'm going to move outside here.
Into the hallway?
Yeah, into
Okay.
the hallway. And I'm going to take
A what?
a superior potion.
Superior potion? Okay. That is 8d4 plus 8. So you can go ahead and calculate that. Is that all gonna in your turn?
Yeah, I think I'll just end my turn and have him take a nice breather.
Okay. Well done. Next, it's gonna be his turn, and he looks...
One.
Right.
8d4, right?
Yeah, 8d4 plus 8.
That's 5,
9,
9.
11.
So he walks over to Barag, and he cranes his neck into the hallway and snaps at Barag. So it's a miss. Another miss. What's your armor class?
AC.
18.
18. Believe it or not, I think he missed all 3 attacks.
Yes!
So,
No,
Nah, he hit all
he hit on the last one.
27.
So he
so 14 plus 19.
so he grabs you with his mouth and pulls you back into the main room. I need you to take 2d10. 16. Oof. So 16 points of piercing damage, please.
16?
So now you're back in the large chamber, and you are actually in his mouth now.
So he's all the way up in the air.
He's not in the air anymore. He landed,
Okay.
so that he can crane his neck in the hallway and snatch you. Yeah.
Ah!
All right. So you are in his mouth. So
Yay.
that is going to actually end his turn. Terra, you're up.
Alright, keep on attacking.
Take a deep man. Come on.
17.
17 does not hit, unfortunately. I'm sorry.
Nineteen.
19 just hits.
Oh my god.
So go ahead and roll your damage.
Trying to think what dice I have. Oh no, I know. This is enchanted dagger.
Seems like a good time to write it
10, 12, 13, 16.
16. Okay.
Not as great as the 22, but I'll take it.
You're doing some pretty wicked damage so far. Alright, so that is going to end your turn, right?
Yes.
Okay. Barag, You're
up. I'm gonna, well, as displayed on our lovely minifigure here,
yeah,
I'm in his mouth.
you're in his mouth.
I'm gonna attempt to swing Chimera Rising to hit him in the eye.
Okay, that will be at disadvantage
Okay.
because you're full. Actually, you roll an escape first.
I have to, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it'll be a
Escape.
contested strength check.
So is escape considered an action?
No, I won't say it is. No.
Okay. 19, and I can add my modifiers to that, right?
Yeah,
19,
yeah.
20, 20, 30, 40, 27.
27. Okay.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Proficiency bonus is 3 and...
All right. So Barag, with your Chimera Rising in your hand, you stick one arm inside its mouth on the bottom of its jaw, the other arm on the top, and you just manage to lift it open. And now you're sitting. You've got your hands up at the upper roof and your legs on the bottom of its mouth, and you are there. You have its mouth fully open, and you escape from its clutches, from its mouth.
Yes.
So now you can go ahead and make your regular attack rolls. Well, first, tell me what you want to do. You want to hit the ground, or you want to climb on top? What do you want to do?
Actually, when I escape, I want to climb on top of his head.
Okay. I will say make a strength check. Climbing, basically climbing.
I have one inspiration left, so I'm gonna
Go
use
for it.
Inspiration
Go for
on
it.
that too.
Mhm.
That is horrible. Not that I'm gonna do. 4.
A 4?
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12.
12?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll say that's enough to. You're holding on with one arm, but you have its horn.
I got this arm.
Yeah. So you're hanging from its horn, and you've got Chimera Rising in your other hand, and you're just hanging on its horn with one arm, with your weapon in the other.
Am I not able to attack?
It's a two-handed weapon.
Yeah, so I'm not.
I will say if you want to, you don't have movement. If you want to, that was actually your action to climb onto it.
Okay.
I will say this. You can swing it in a large arc at disadvantage because you're using one arm instead of two. So it's a weapon designed for two, but you've got only access to one arm.
Okay.
So I will say, yeah, sure. Go for it.
4.
Roll the second one. You might roll a 1 and drop Chimera Rising.
I rolled 6.
6. Okay. All right. So yeah, unfortunately, you're able to hit it, but it doesn't seem to affect it, just because it's rather unwieldy with one arm. So, but you are out of its grip. So good job there.
That's all that counts.
Yeah. Talvis, you are just taking full movement back, right? This is round 1 for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Daedalus, you're up. You see Barag. It's hanging from its
I
horn.
don't see Barag in anything. I'm on the hallway.
Oh yeah, that's right. You are out in the hallway. So
I'm gonna move back into the room though, but I'm gonna see. I'm gonna hopefully stay at a range and hopefully be in more range by being at the back of the room. Am I still in range for my spell still?
yes, you are.
Okay, so hopefully that'll keep me out of his range though, but I'm not holding.
You don't know. Yeah.
But I still and now I also see Barag hanging.
You do.
So would it take an action to send my broom up to him to get him, see if I can get him to the top of the thing's head?
Yeah, I would say you.
Or the action?
I would say a bonus action.
Bonus action. So yeah, Jared, I'm gonna try and help you get to the top of his head.
That sounds amazing to me.
So I'm gonna send Broomy out after him.
Sure. So you take Broomy from your side, the side of your backpack.
Yep. And it's like, and I instruct him to go and help Barag get to the top of the dragon's head.
All right. So it spins around as you unleash Broomy, and it kind of looks at you, and you say, "Help Barag get to the top." And it kind of looks at the dragon, and it kind of like shakes and shudders for a second, but then shoots over to Barag. All right. So that is your bonus action. You still have an action.
So I'm gonna try it. Actually, I'm gonna try a vicious mockery.
Oof. That is a good call.
Yeah.
That is a very good call. So go ahead.
So So I shoot a vicious mockery at it. What?
And that's a wisdom save he's got to make against your vicious mockery, yes?
Yes.
What's your spell save?
Spell save is 16.
Okay. He makes the spell save.
Ah.
But I do want to hear the vicious mockery, though. You can't escape that, sir.
How to insult?
Give me some mockery.
I'm trying to look at his appearance.
Well, he's actually blue. What little skin is left on his skeletal system is kind of a rotted blue skin. Mostly bone, with tattered wings, tattered leathery wings.
Surprised to think he still flies.
So how do you mock it?
Yeah, this is a hard one. How to mock something that just thinks of death.
CUV. That's the spell, sir. You gotta mock it. Okay.
That's
You must succeed
I'll
on
make it
it.
something that's quote unquote flying skills.
Go for it.
It's like I've seen humans fly better than you. That's it.
All right.
That is actually pretty bad.
You thought you hurt its feelings for a second, but no such luck.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So that is gonna end your turn.
Yeah.
All right. Now it's actually his turn, and it's going to try to. I'm gonna say it's gonna try to buck Barag and Terra. So it's going to be contested athletics, strength, as it tries to buck the both of you off of its body.
I like that. Because you don't even want to know what my modifier is for that.
I know, same with mine.
What'd you roll?
And it's athletics, right?
Yes.
Yes.
17.
Okay.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
What'd you roll?
30.
You rolled 30.
17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Yeah, 30.
Okay. All right, Tara. You managed to kind of hold on to its rotting flesh as it tries to buck you off, almost like a wild bronco. Barag, you are not so lucky. I rolled a 26.
Oh.
So you take 5, 10, 15,
What? My broom isn't there to save him?
20. Not yet.
No.
You know what? Yeah, you're right. 5, 10. No, because it's got a movement of 30. 5, 10, 15, 20. No, it just missed, actually.
Oh.
So you take...
Too far.
Yeah, it's too far. Yeah.
Again.
11.
I
So,
get dropped.
so you take 17 points of bludgeoning damage as you come crashing down to the floor of the chamber, with a loud thud, and again that armor just dings as soon as you hit the ground. At some point, you may want to be checked for a concussion because that's a long way down. All right, so
Concussions.
yeah,
Throw some dirt on
What
it.
are concussions?
yeah, rub some dirt on it. You'll be all right. Tara, you're up.
Alright, perfect. I'm going to use my 2 daggers again and attack. And I think I still have 6 more turns.
With oil of sharpness.
Yes.
Yeah. So you got additional +3 damage, +3 attack, +3 damage with oil of sharpness. So go for
That is
it.
correct. Which is nice because my dagger of frostbrand is +2 attack and +2 damage.
That's nice.
So 5.
Yeah.
17,
1 million to hit. She just rolled.
22.
That hits. Unfortunately, you do not get. Oh, actually, no, you do.
Because
Yeah, because Barag. Yep. The dragon is on the ground now.
18.
18 unfortunately misses.
Okay, that's fine. Frostbrand's all I need.
All right, so go for it.
Just don't care about
Roll
it.
that sweet damage. I know, right? It's disgusting how many dice you rolled for damage.
Oh, jeez.
And then it's +5. So 5.
Is that an 8 I see out there?
Yeah, that was an 8.
Oh my god.
7.
Tara Heidel's gonna kill this thing by
9,
herself.
Pretty much.
10,
Forget everybody
15,
else.
16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. 23.
Oof.
Oh, did I add the 5? Yeah, that's
Okay.
with the 5.
Yeah, because you
23.
started with the 5.
Yeah.
All right, so your frostbrand dagger sinks deep into the rotted flesh, and again you splinter off some of that bone from its spine. You can hear the crack as you manipulate your frostbrand dagger, and it comes popping right off. Good job. Is that gonna end your turn?
I believe. Yes.
All right, Barag, you're up.
Alright, so I'm not
You are on the floor now. Yeah, right in front of it. So it's going to take half your movement to get from a prone position to a standing position.
Okay, so I'm gonna stand up
Okay.
and take 1 movement forward. And but he's on the ground now.
He's on the ground, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm just gonna take a swing at his legs.
Okay, go for it.
Attack his legs. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18.
18 unfortunately misses.
Extra attack.
Go for it.
Oh no, that's gonna miss too.
I don't know what you rolled, but I saw Kyle's head just drop as soon as
Yeah,
he saw the
I rolled a
the
7,
dice.
so it missed.
Okay, no worries. All right, so is that gonna end your turn?
I have nothing else to do, so yeah, that'll end my turn.
Okay.
unfortunately.
Thomas, you are up. This will be the last round of travel for you, and you'll be back next round.
Okay.
So we'll put you up back on the map, right before the door.
Second black.
The second black door. The other one on the other side.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yep. Daedalus, you are up.
Okay.
Terry, you look in, you see Broomy right by Barag. He's there now. You see the broom kind of fly right next to you.
Okay. And I'm gonna try vicious mockery again.
Go for it.
Let's hope.
And by the way, sir, give me some vicious mock, would you?
I know.
Put some stank on it.
I know the last one was really, really bad.
I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just saying I want to feel it. I want you to make the DM cry.
I wanna be-
I want you to
Yes.
give me psychic damage. All right, so go ahead and viciously mock. What's the spell save DC on that, sir? 16?
16.
Okay.
16 is what he has to roll, yes.
Okay. Well done. So how do you viciously mock?
Ooh, yes. Oh, this is gonna be a hard one, though. It's hard to come up with some things. Hey, you tried this.
You got to do it.
I know, I have to level, Can I do like a visual mockery?
Sure. Yeah.
So basically, I like form my Eldritch energy, then I show him like flying,
Mm-hmm.
then it's just like, you see a spike come out of nowhere, like, hit it in his head and be like, and then I form the words, this is you.
This is you. All right. So he looks at you and he goes, "Urgh." He just growls. You see its rotted lip kind of curl over its teeth, and it does take 1d4 psychic damage. So why don't you go ahead and roll that damage? This is you.
Four.
Four. Nice.
This is you.
You see a little rotted vein kind of pops in its head as it takes the psychic damage. Well done. All right. Now it's actually its turn.
Enjoy the disadvantage.
Yeah. All right. So. Okay. And Barag and Daedalus, I need you guys both to make a dexterity saving throw.
As a mod to it.
They may be 7 plus 1. So it's 8. Oh, that sucks.
I'm gonna use my last inspiration to reroll this number.
What if I have one more shot? I'm trying to think.
Well, you have to record that.
I think I do have one more.
Inspiration?
Yeah. I think
Okay.
I have one more. So I'm gonna reroll mine.
Sure.
19 from me.
19. Nice.
Come on.
Thank God for that last inspiration.
17, 18 for me.
Okay, hold on one sec. So it's okay.
Rolling.
That's a lot of die roll, dude.
Yeah, I don't like that. Barag doesn't like it. I don't like that noise.
Okay, so So you guys take 68 points of lightning damage as Barag and Daedalus, you get caught in its breath weapon of lightning and just
You say 68?
68 points.
I'm out.
You're both out?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're both down.
Down 7.
You see a little smoke of burning hair from your beard and your hair. And that is going to actually end its turn. Actually, no.
Hey, I've been trying that.
It's going to make actually as a legendary action, and it's its last legendary action. A tail attack. And it's going to take it on Barag. It's gonna miss it on Barag.
If he had attacked me and hit, I would be dead, wouldn't I?
That would be one death saving throw fail.
Ah.
You would, because you need to make 3.
Yeah.
So.
And I already have 1. Do we refresh those failures, or if the failures that we've had before count?
No, they don't count against you.
Okay, so we have 3 total whenever we get taken down.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you see it kind of whip around its tail quickly, and it just hits right to the left of your body, and you kind of like, it actually, I mean, the force rolls you over a couple of feet, but it doesn't hit you, luckily. And that's the last of its legendary actions. So next, Terra, you're up. You see an explosion of this lightning breath weapon just spring forth from its maw and encapsulate Daedalus and Barag in the lightning storm, and they're down. You see it attack Barag with its tail, but just barely miss, and it is your turn.
I'm going to keep attacking it.
Go for it.
Hopefully shed some more damage.
Stop looking at my health. I see you looking.
No, I'm not.
Okay, all right.
I can't even see.
Okay, all right. Just trying to keep you honest.
18.
18 does unfortunately miss.
Ooh, 28.
28 does hit with your second attack, so go ahead and roll damage to the second dagger. Remember, you don't get sneak attack damage because he's
That's right,
unconscious.
I'm knocked out. Okay. Unfortunately.
15.
15. Okay. So you hit with the first one, but doesn't seem to find any purchase and pierce that rotted hide. However, the second one sinks deep. Well done. And is that going to end your turn?
That is going to end my turn.
Okay. Barag, I need you to make a death saving throw.
Do I add anything to this?
No, it's just a d20.
14.
14. That's one success.
You have 1 success, 1 failure.
No, it's his first death saving throw.
Oh,
It's first roll. Yep.
Success.
Cool.
Okay.
So far.
So then Talvis. So you go running back into the room.
So is that where I'm at the start of my turn?
You at the start of your turn. You're right at the entryway into that doorway.
Yeah, I'll enter the room, and so.
So you see Daedalus is down.
Okay.
And he looks in a really bad way. And then he's to your left. You look over to your right. You see Terra on the back of this half-dead dragon, and you see Barag. He is knocked out,
Okay.
and he's right in front of the dragon.
Let's count some distance here. Okay. And so when they're not down like that, and they're still in this sort of saving throw phase, if they get healing,
They're up.
they're up.
Yes.
Any amount of healing?
Yeah.
Or, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will run into the room and take note of what has changed since I left. And I'm gonna go ahead and cast Mass Healing Word.
Nice.
You know what though? That's actually a bonus action. So for my action, I will cast I'm gonna cast Guiding Bolt
Okay.
at the dragon.
Okay.
And that's gonna be a ranged spell attack.
Okay. Go for it. Does he have to make a save on it? I don't think so, right? I think it's just the attack.
Yeah, it's just the attack.
Okay. Go for it.
3. Okay.
So your guiding bolt just kind of dissipates somewhere.
So for my bonus action, I will cast Mass Healing Word,
Okay.
and that's gonna
It's got a 60-foot range,
yes. So that
and up to 6 creatures that you can see within range.
So I will cast that on everybody. It looks like that should be able to reach Barag.
You can reach everybody
I can reach
at 60
everybody?
feet, yeah.
So I'll cast that on everybody.
So go ahead and roll 1d4 plus your ability modifier. Unless you want to roll it at a higher level.
Yeah, because that is actually the highest level I have right now. Is the
Which
third
is
level.
what? Oh, 3rd level?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's 9 points total.
Okay. So everybody regains 9 points of health. You're up, Barag.
Yes.
Daedalus, you're up as well.
9.
Yeah.
Yay. I'm alive.
Alive, baby. Alright.
A long way away though.
Is that gonna end your turn, Talvis?
I'm going to take movement back out of the room.
Gotcha. Okay. Daedalus, you're up. So you're lying on the ground and you feel the after effects of Talvis's arcane healing, his divine energy coursing through your body, and you are up, but you are kind of hurt.
Well, I'm gonna. Well, first I'm gonna try Eldritch Blasting it.
Okay.
Come on, hit 15 plus a 6.
That does hit.
Okay. And no, that doesn't. That's a 6 plus 6.
Okay, no, unfortunately that does not hit. So you do hit with 1. So go ahead and roll damage, 2d10.
5 and a 6.
Nice, so 11 points of damage. Nice.
And then I'm gonna move out here.
Oh, bye.
Alright.
I wonder if I move, can I like move in, take a shot, and move back out?
Well, you can. You can break up your movement. You don't have to take all of your movement at one time.
That's what you're doing. Just
Yeah.
keep on dashing in and out.
Yeah, if you wanted to do like 10 feet of movement and action and 10 more feet of movement, you can do that. So,
That's amazing. So I'd be out of harm's way. I could take all the shots.
yeah, yeah. Talvis, you're up.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry.
That felt fast.
Yeah, no, it did. I'm sorry. Actually, it's up. The Dragon Lich. So let me roll to see if it gets its breath weapon back. That's a cocked die. Does not. Alright, so it's gonna take a bite attack at Barag.
He does
Why
not
so
seem-
glum, chum?
He does not seem satisfied with
So
his care.
25 to hit.
Yeah.
Bye. There I go again.
Don't sound okay. 22 to hit
And I'm out. Bye.
and 20 to hit.
Bye.
Okay, so all 3 hit.
Knocked out.
Well, we don't know that. Hold on.
I have 9 points of health. 1 attack.
Oh, you do have 9 points of health?
I only have 9 points of
Oh,
health.
that's right.
So
That's
I'm
right. That's right.
literally gone with
Okay.
the first attack that you
Well, hold on.
That's like he rolls 1.
Hold on, everybody. So 2d.
Barag is good, but he ain't that good.
Well, Barag is.
You have like 70 points of health, maybe.
So 7 and 7 is 14. So 21 points
Peace.
for the first one. Okay. So you're out for the first one, and then the second and the third one is your first failed death saving throw, and your second failed death saving throw. Because he hits you.
So I have
He hit.
2 failures.
He hit you with 3 attacks.
Uh-huh.
So the second attack is an auto fail for your first death saving throw,
Okay.
and the second or the third attack is your second failed death saving throw.
Yeah,
So
I only got 1 left.
you got 1
I'm
left.
dead.
Yeah, you got 1 left. All right. So you see the dragon just ripping apart Barag with a bite, then 2 claw marks. You just see its claws dig deep into Barag's chest and just kind of rake, and you actually see bone, exposed bone in Barag's chest. It's just ripping apart his armor. and it's pretty much going to town on Barag. Now it is back at the top of the order with Terra.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, were we interrupting you?
Just so everybody knows, I was eating a donut.
Stay in character, please.
Tara was eating a donut.
Well played, madam. Go for it.
Alright, so I'm going to use my dual wheel. Because I got purchased on this dragon, now I want to jump off. As much as I care about Barag, I want to take this thing out first. Barag comes last in the
Grand scheme of things.
In the grand scheme of things, it's alright. I still got 2 others that I can throw to the fire.
Got. Oh my goodness.
17.
Fortunately, that misses.
13.
Unfortunately, that misses. So, you hit it with your daggers. Unfortunately, its hide is too thick. Next, it's Barag. You need to make a death saving throw.
Are those like a 10 and
Up.
Okay.
And he has to make this. If he does not,
He's dead.
Barag is gone.
I'm just gonna walk out after this if this goes on.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
He's dead.
Oh,
Barag is
what'd you
dead.
roll?
3.
Oh.
Barag is officially dead, everybody.
Okay. All right. Talvis, you're up.
So I'm gonna say farewell to Barag, everybody. I'm gonna walk into the room and take it. Let me see. What's my movement? 30. Oh wow. You know what else too?
Where were you the day Barag died?
I am just at
Right now, Talvis is doing geometry and arithmetic in his head right now.
Well, I mean, it is his fault that we are in this situation.
It's not his fault.
He ran off and
It
set
kind of
off the
is. It
cliff.
kind of is. Okay, go ahead.
And you guys, for some reason, insisted on fighting the thing. We were all out of the room.
Okay, so
Hold on, I was back here. I did no such thing.
Talvis, what are you doing?
Well, I'm not gonna cast Revivify because I'm not within range.
No.
That's a 1 minute.
You got 10 rounds to bring him back with Revivify.
Okay, so look at what I can do real quick. I'm going to walk into the room, like the room where the dragon is.
Right.
30, so. And I'm going to see if I can. Oh, no, I'm not pressing. I'm gonna attempt to speak Draconic to it,
Sure.
and I'm as close as I can get for now. So I'm gonna look up at it and say, you have proven your might against us. What do you want? To allow us to pass?
So it looks at you, and it says the same thing that it told Terra in Draconic. Death.
In my mind, I'm running away, but I know I can't.
All right. So is that gonna end your turn, or you still have action?
Yeah. So. I'm going to cast Yeah, I'm gonna cast Guiding Bolt at it again. Because it refused to listen to me.
Go for it.
That didn't work. Okay. So that is going to end my. Oh, you know what? No, I'll
So guiding bolt didn't work.
Guiding Bolt did not work.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha.
I'm going to. Can I? That space there. Is that?
Yeah, you're diagonal from him, but yeah, you're with.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I could have touched him, I guess. It was disorienting. It was disorienting.
This does not sound like an appropriate conversation here.
It was disorienting. Oh wait, it would be.
I
You see
could
what I
have
was gonna
touched
do.
him. It was disorienting.
I'm gonna.
He's gonna touch Barag.
It would take an action to try to
cleric.
like drag him, right?
Yeah, it would be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I am going to use my bonus action
Yeah.
to. I know he's.
Well,
already-
to cast what you want to cast is an action in and of itself.
Right, so it wasn't going to be revivify.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, yeah, that is out the window already. So I'm going to.
Oh, because you cast your third spell? Your third level spell already?
No, because I cast Guiding Bolt.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes, you're right.
You
You're
got
right.
a little
That's
too
right.
excited with that, guys.
Yeah,
Got a
so.
little too excited.
I don't know, I'm just asking a question.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'm going to. Let me see, I got 1/3 left. Okay, I'm going to cast Mass Healing Word again as a bonus action.
Go for it.
So that'll be the 1d4. So 9 points.
So that's exactly what you rolled last time, too, and you
Yeah.
did math. Okay,
Right.
so 9 points of health for Terra and Daedalus. And yourself, don't forget.
Yeah, I'm maxed
No, I mean, oh, your health?
because I was gone for
That's
so
right.
long.
It
That's
was
right.
10 points of health,
Okay.
right?
And you're marking down your
9.
your
Yeah.
slots, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and that's the third.
Okay.
Sweet, and almost back.
And that's gonna end your turn. So Daedalus, you're up.
Okay, well I'm gonna move back in here
Okay.
and I'm gonna Eldritch Blast it. Hopefully hitting.
Go for it.
Here's your dice. Let's see, it's a 12 plus 6.
That's 18. Unfortunately, that does not hit. Groan, grumble.
19.
19 does hit. So go ahead and roll damage.
2d10. Got a 5. And an 8.
Nice. Very nice.
13.
13 points of damage.
And then I move right back out.
Awesome.
And that ends my turn.
Okay. So you raise your hand, the arcane energy swirls and coalesces. You miss with one, and then you hit him right in the face with the other as you kind of back up into the hallway again. Next, it's going to be the Dragolich. And it is going to take aim at young Talvis.
I need it.
Okay. So, what's your armor class?
18.
Okay, so that's one hit. It's another hit. And that is 16. You said it was 18?
18.
18, okay. So that's one miss. So, one bite and one claw as it cranes its long neck to bite you. 2d10. 9 and 1, 10. So you take 17 points of piercing damage plus 7 points of lightning damage for the bite. And it's teeth sink deep like sabers.
17 plus 7?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then for the claw, it's going to be 14 points of slashing damage for the claw.
Okay.
So as it kind of rips at your shoulder, underneath your armor.
Okay.
And that is going to end its turn. Next, it's going to be Terra.
Perfect. Alright, so I am going to keep attacking this thing. So obviously once it's dead. Okay, inspiration. I
Oh,
have
okay, you
marked
have
on
it written?
here.
Okay, just
Yeah.
make sure you mark it
I
up.
had one physically,
Okay.
and then I have 2 that I have from before.
Okay.
So now I'm down to 1.
So go ahead and roll.
Modified. 21? Yeah, modified 21,
Okay, that's a hit.
and then 18.
18, unfortunately, misses. Now, understand that you don't have anybody within melee.
Yes, so I don't
Okay,
get the
so you don't
sneak
get
attack.
sneak attack, right.
I was actually gonna mention that. This frog is
Do your worst. Roll that damage.
unfortunately dragon fodder. Poor
The
Barag.
belly of the beast.
Yep.
Nom nom.
Alright.
Nom nom nom.
Okay.
And then 5, 9, 10, 16, 17.
Dang. Alright, so your Frostbrand dagger sinks deep into its flesh, and you keep hitting it in the same spot, and you could almost see like a frostbite type of thing where like solid chunks of frozen necrotic flesh are starting to fall off at the bone. It's looking pretty rough. Next, it's going to be Barag. Oh, sorry. Dude, that was not on purpose. I swear to God, I'm so fucking sorry. That was not on purpose. Really apologize. I'm so sorry. Shit, man, I'm sorry. I feel like a total asshole for that. Talvis, you're up. Shit.
Okay, so I'm gonna use my ring of spell storing to touch Barag and cast Revivify,
Sure.
and that'll be then an action. Correct?
That's just an action. Now, don't forget that actually consumes 300 gold pieces from your inventory.
But aren't we using like spellcasting focus?
Yes, and that is for all the other components. However, anything that costs money, you still have to pay that
Okay.
for.
So
We have,
I know what
we
I
have plenty here. So I've been keeping track of everything.
As long as she takes it out of the party gold, that's fine.
Okay.
We still have
So-
plenty. We have a lot.
Yeah, and arcane focus allows you to not have to do the somatic or verbal components, or even the material components, except for money or diamonds,
Currency.
right,
Okay,
right.
okay.
But other than that, the arcane focus fulfills all the other requirements for
Okay.
spellcasting. So,
Cool. So
so make sure that she takes it off your group. I don't care that it's in the group inventory. I'm just
Okay.
yeah, so whatever. But yeah, it's 300
okay.
gold pieces.
So I will.
But at the end of the day, is Barag really worth 300 gold pieces?
Look
Look at his face! Oh my god!
I just picture
Oh,
Talvis
man.
grabbing a pile of gold and just, just pegging you with gold pieces. Wake up,
Fucking
damn you!
Scrooge McDuck.
Yeah, yeah.
You're costing me money! Alright, so you cast it. Describe it. How do you cast it?
So I'm going to kneel next to him and just place my hand, one hand on his head and one hand on his gaping chest wound, and just bow my head in silent prayer.
And so the divine energy comes forth and kind of goes through you, travels through you as you say the prayer through your hand and into Barag and the wound. starts to close as you see him draw one solid breath. Blood starts to come out of his mouth. You have 1 hit point.
Can I use? So I wanted to check the revivify thing.
It's 1 action for revivify.
So it is just 1 hit point then.
It's 1 hit point. Yes.
Okay. Then I would like. Can I give him a potion?
Yeah, sure. That will consume your action. Oh, but your bonus action. I'm sorry.
It
Your
is
bonus
a
action.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a bonus
That's
action if you want to give it to him.
Okay, so let me check which potions I have. Okay, I'm going to give him a supreme healing potion.
Dang, yo. That's
and-
love right there.
Yeah.
That's fucking love, man. Supreme healing potions are like 5,000 gold pieces.
But I'm just like the gold. I'm just throwing
Yeah.
Wake up, damn it.
5,300 gold pieces in 1 round.
Um,
You son of a bitch.
so that's gonna be
It's 10d4 plus 20.
a D4. I will gather up some D4s. Thank you.
I've got a few here.
I got 2 here. Jeez,
This
that's
is why
fun.
people buy piles of them.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
It's
I have
always
a
good.
stockpile here
Here,
if you
here you
guys
go.
ever need.
That's why.
That'll do it.
That's why I want to buy some, but they didn't have any at the convention. I was disappointed.
8. There's a 10.
Go for it.
Okay, so we got 2, 6, 8, 12, 16, 17, 21 to 26.
26 plus 20, so 46. So you see the flesh kind of start to knit back together as he consumes the supreme healing potion. That armor is wrecked, dude.
Yeah, I'm destroyed. I don't I like this.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
pretty.
thank-
It's pretty rough.
And then I'm gonna take my movement 5, 10, 15, back to next to Daedalus.
Sure. Okay.
Thank you everybody for the D4s.
No worries. Okay, so that is gonna end your turn, Talvis. Daedalus, you're up.
Okay, so I'm gonna just do my old hit and run.
Hit and run.
Hit
Do
and
it.
run. So I'm gonna come in here and oops, sorry about that. And I don't know. It doesn't seem like the vicious mockery helped all that much. He's still like even on that turn.
He
It
has.
helps the DM.
Well, yeah.
So I'm not gonna do that again. It's just a waste. I'll just do more Eldritch Blasts and hope they hit. It's 14 plus 6.
Okay, so 20. That does hit. Yeah.
Oh, it's 6 plus 6.
12. All right. Unfortunately, that does not hit. So go ahead and roll damage for your first Eldritch Blast.
It's a 9, right?
All right. So 9 plus.
3.
So 12 total. Nice.
And back another.
Okay.
That's it.
That's gonna end your turn. Well done, Daedalus. Now it is his turn, and it is so sick of Terra High Hill. It is gonna do a contested strength check.
Is it strength or
Athletics.
okay?
So go for it.
Oh, sweet Jesus. Yeah, no. No.
Okay.
29.
You're hanging on.
Oh, you rolled 29?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. All right. So yeah.
9 plus 3.
So it's bucking you, and you've got your daggers in your hands, and you're holding on, and you're literally being like, you're almost horizontal in the air as it's swinging around wildly, trying to get you off of its back,
I'm just gonna go wee.
and it's just. Take your inspiration. Oh man, take all the inspiration. All right, so you say we. I love it. All right, so you managed to hang on for dear life. Unbelievable. So that is going to be its action. It is going to take it has no more legendary actions left.
So that's his turn, right?
That is its turn. Terra, you're up.
Sweet. Okay, I'm going to keep attacking it
Go for it.
as I'm smiling upon the joyride of a dragon.
Sure.
19 for the first one.
That's a hit. That just barely hits.
15.
Fortunately, that does not hit. So go ahead and roll your damage. And you do get sneak attack damage because Barag is down there.
Thank you. Again,
Back in the land of the living.
I thought he wasn't gonna make it.
And then this will be.
I saw
my
your face,
third-
man. It looked like somebody killed your dog or something.
You look
I
like a
was
kick
so
puppy guy.
yeah. So go ahead and roll.
See the sadness.
So 5, 10, 17, 19, 21, 25.
Okay, so you sink your frostbrand dagger deep into this creature.
Say it.
Describe your moment of victory.
Yes!
Oh,
So, I'm gonna do kind of like, I don't know if you guys see this, like when people are climbing with knives, you know, and they climb up and they kind of like make a little mark in.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm basically gonna climb down, but I'm taking spinal, like the, part of
The
the spinal-
vertebrae?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm taking the vertebrae and just like popping them out as I'm going down, and all you hear is pop, 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 pop.
So as you go down on with each dagger and you pop each vertebrae, you see like the top of its head kind of like shift because it gets no support, and then the next vertebrae it shifts the other way, and it's almost like a slinky. It's and then you just hear it just falls to the ground dead. Well done, guys.
I'm hearing the sound of its rather large body falling. I'm gonna step into the room and like poke my head around the corner and see it down, and then walk the rest of the way in.
And I follow. Please take me in too. Like we're in the room with you guys now.
And well, it's a workout between the running and the climbing, and
I wonder whose fault that is.
that thing. I wonder. That thing put up a fight. Wow.
and I just start vomiting blood.
I'm gonna put my hand on his shoulder, like in a sort of a macho comfort kind of move, like, oh yeah, it's tough. Walk it off, friend.
As I keep vomiting blood all over the floor.
Awesome.
And, yeah, and I'm just gonna like sit my butt right down on the floor and just breathe and catch my breath.
Okay, well done, group. You felled the Dragolich. So we are going to call this a complete episode. You guys are at the very beginning of this tome. There are other dangers await you.
That was first line of defense.
Guys, you guys are in the second room of this tome. Just to put a little perspective on it for you. Just to put a
No
little
clerics running off, please.
put a little stank on it. Yeah, this is room 2.
We would have beat him about 3 turns earlier if I had been there.
I'm sure, but you got scared shitless, literally, and ran.
Well, it was just a roll of the die, though, unfortunately.
It was
So-
several terrible rolls.
You were rolling bad, dude.
Yeah,
Whatever
dude.
dice you were rolling, burn them.
That's that one.
Take them to church
My
and
only
excommunicate
D20.
them. Yeah.
Yeah, bring it to our church. We'll dip it for you.
Yeah, there you
We'll
go.
take it for you.
Yeah. Get the full-on holy treatment. You're a cleric, so
Yeah.
Yeah, there
it's
you
only
go.
right. Anyway, all right, guys. This was an amazing excursion into the tomb, and I hope you guys all enjoyed the episode as much as we enjoyed playing it. So if you want, once again, Terra Highhill, aka Courtney, why don't you hit us again with the Instagram?
So if you guys like this episode, previous episodes, give us a follow on Instagram. We have our Instagram page up, and it's at _story thus far. And then also, like I said, we met some awesome people at Long Beach Comic Con, but
Moonlight Wares, yeah.
Moonlight Wares, man, she makes some excellent stuff, leather work, cuffs, and then also many other things like dice trays and storage bags, leather storage bags for your dice, which if any of you play D&D like as much as we do, that's super important. So
yeah,
definitely hit her up, and we will be posting links to her website, and we hope to hear some more soon, right? Maybe some more announcements later on.
Yeah, maybe. Once, if you're into it, give us a share, give us a like. We'll have a Facebook up soon, as well as a Twitter account, so you'll be able to follow us on all social media. In the meantime, love each other, be good to each other, and play D&D. So, good job, guys.
Woo!